Ace Attorney meets Ocarina of Time. No more dilly-dallying. It's time to see what the hell. Time to see what the hell is going on with this. Did you see my pineapple post yesterday? The pineapple plant? The game autosaves after each scene. Okay. Yeah, I've seen pineapple plants. I think I saw your post. Yeah. Was that your first time seeing pineapple plants? It's so quiet. Okay, we got to dial in, guys. We got to dial in. Do you think they forgot? Forget a royal visitation? No one could make such a blunder, princess. Well, I guess I should just go in then. How am I possibly going to prove this case? Oh my god. Oh my god, this is going to be so good, dude. Defendant lobby number 3. You'd think that after so many years of doing this, I'd be used to the stress. So why am I shaking? God. I guess it's a lot worse when it's your friend's life that's on the line. Come on. Gotta look professional. She can't see you like this. The music is killing me right now. Speaking of her, though, where is she anyway? Hey, you, over there. Huh? What is it, attorney? The trial isn't starting yet. But it will be soon, right? Would you happen to know why my client isn't here yet? I didn't get to speak much with her when she was arrested, so I was hoping I could at least exchange a word with her now. The sound effects are great. Wahaha! Well, you weren't the only one with that idea. I believe she is currently in the prosecutor's lobby. He wanted to talk to her as well. B. What is up with this guy? He bars me from the crime scene, blocks my detention center visits, and now this? Not to worry, she will definitely be here before the trial. Great, that'll be a joyous 5 minutes indeed. But there's nothing I can do but wait. Sometime later. This is, yeah, Ace Attorney mashed with Ocarina of Time. Okay, this is ridiculous. How much longer can he keep her? Ah, see, there she is. No need to get all worked up. Is something wrong? Did I hear shouting? So much for looking professional. No, don't worry. Everything's fine. This is Malon. Ever since we met in Hyrule Castletown all those years ago, we've been great friends. Her heart's in the right place. I know she cared deeply about her father. If everything's fine, why do you look so worried? Well, how did the investigation go? Did you find anything? Yeah, the investigation. I found tons of, groundbreaking stuff. Particularly that my opponent's a real scumbag. What did the prosecutor want from you anyway? Well, it was mostly just threats. He kept explaining in detail what'll happen to me if I'm found guilty. Doesn't sound like a vital discussion that needed to happen right before the trial. He probably just did that so he wouldn't have as much time to talk. You believe in me, right? I didn't do it. I would never. Of course I believe in you. Although, I'll be honest, things aren't looking very good right now. What's that you got there? Oh, this is just a pictograph of father I carry around. I can't believe he's gone. I wish I knew how to cheer her up right now. I'm not very good at handling emotional clients. Hey, you know, that pictograph could really be useful for the trial. Oh, how so? Well, you look so happy together. I can present it to show that you two had a great relationship. You really think so? Well, here you go then. Malon's pictograph added to the court record. This is ridiculous, dude. It's like literally the exact same as an Ace Attorney game. It's so funny. All right. Shouldn't be idly chatting. Anyway, there's not much time left. I know it's hard to talk about, but could you tell me what actually happened? I don't stand much chance if I don't know your version of the story. I understand. Unfortunately, there isn't really much to... The trial is starting! Defendant, attorney, enter the courtroom! Uh-oh. Shouldn't have said that stuff about having no chance. All right. Everything will be fine. The prosecutor has been playing me for a fool since this began, but sooner or later, his arrogance will be his undoing. Let's head inside. I wonder if Ganon's going to be the prosecutor, if, like, the first prosecutor is going to be... I've been a defense attorney for the last 7 years. I won my fair share of cases, and I lost some too, but this one's personal. There's so much at stake here. Not only do I have to save Malon's life, I gotta find out who did this to Talon. Talon, he was always so kind. He didn't deserve this. I need to do him justice. I can't lose this. There he is. Frickin' Grinkledorf. Court is now in session for the trial of Malon of Long Lawn Ranch. The defense is ready, Your Honor. I sincerely doubt that. Dragmire is his name? What were they thinking, pitting me against some pathetic kid? Even his poses? Still your tongue. You bring shame upon the fine color of your hair, vile woman. Before long, the world shall know the horrible deeds you've committed. Let us not prolong the inevitable. Shall we begin? Now, the court is no place to be exchanging insults. Since the prosecution seems as ready as well, let's hear their opening statement. The opening statement shall also be the closing one. Oh, the girl did it! It's obvious! She killed her own father in cold blood. All so she could have the ranch to herself. Couldn't wait for the old fool to die naturally, could you, you greedy little rat? Objection! Your Honor, you can't allow this man to verbally abuse the defendant like this. Ha! She committed murder, kid. She deserves every bit of scorn she gets. I do believe a little less commentary wouldn't go amiss. Bah! I assure you, old man, you will change your opinion when you see all the damning evidence. Who is this guy? How can he speak to the judge like that? Ganondorf Dragmire. Looks like I've been lucky to avoid meeting this man until now. The stories I've heard about him must be true. A boorish barbarian of a man hailing from the Gerudo province. Apparently, he prides himself on the nearly clean streak he's cultivated for decades. All while disrespecting everyone in the courtroom, including the judge. I've even heard some attorneys refer to him as the King of Evil. Definitely has that look, at the very least. Who wears full armor to the court? The gavel hit is... Everything is so perfect, man. They've nailed the vibe immaculately. This is the greatest love letter to Phoenix Wright that could possibly have ever been created. All right, very well. Please present your case to the court. You don't seem to like me talking, so I'll let the detective present the basics. Bring Impa of the Sheikah Force to the stand. Well, here we go. The first battle. I know Impa. She's quite a competent detective. Which worries me. Please let her have made a mistake just this once. All right. State your name and whatever it is you pretend to do. You never change, do you, prosecutor? Any possible change would be for the worse. Now stop wasting time. Name and occupation. Oh, man. Very well. I am Impa, head detective of the Sheikah Force, Homicide Division. True for now, at least. Well, what are you waiting for? Start talking. You were the one assigned to this case, so you know all about it. What calamity has befallen our fair kingdom? Still can't be bothered to give a proper opening statement? I suppose I can do the prosecutor's job for him this time, for the sake of an unbiased look. Please go ahead, detective. Okay. All right. The incident happened early yesterday morning on Lon Lon Ranch, a local supplier of goods located just south of Castletown. The current owner of this homestead, Talon, was found dead in his ranch house. A tragic loss for our kingdom for sure. I have seen the man around Castletown a number of times, delivering goods. Quite. The owner was a rather important figure in the local community. In any case, we were alerted to the scene of the murder by the Royal Guard, who were there on official business. Official business? What kind? As I understand, the ranch provides the kingdom with vital services. To ensure it's operating as it should, and as a gesture of appreciation, the Crown orders a visitation to the ranch every year. I see. A scheduled annual visit. Continue, detective. When the Sheikah force arrived, they found the victim bleeding out onto the floor. Next to him lay his daughter, Malin, breathing but unresponsive. After a thorough investigation, we arrested her as she was deemed the only possible culprit. That about covers the gist of what happened. Very nice and succinct. Keep that up and perhaps you will keep your job. I don't think the good detective has to worry much about that, given that she is head of the department. Which reminds me, why is the head of detectives herself on a case like this? Were the other detectives unavailable? That would be because I have been assigned to this case by the order of the King of Hyrule himself. The King himself? That doesn't happen very often, does it? You are correct, Your Honor. I'm not usually involved in field work like this. This time, however, the King felt it necessary because of who is involved. Who is involved? Is the death of a ranch worker really such a concern for the King? Well, as I said, Lon Lon Ranch is a very important supplier of goods, to be sure. But that's not who I meant. I imagine the King wanted the top investigator on this job because it was the royal princess herself who discovered the crime scene. The rattling in the court. Order! I will have order! The royal princess, Zelda, witnessed the crime? Ha! And there you have it. This case rides on the princess's own words. To doubt it would be to doubt your own royalty. This is bad. I can't really object to that. Very well. If the princess is testifying today, it's better we don't make her needlessly wait. Detective, please testify about exactly why the defendant was arrested. The reasons for arrest. All right. It is with regret that I agree with Dragmire. All the evidence points towards this girl being the culprit. We determined that the murder definitely took place inside the ranch house. There were only 3 people on the ranch: the victim, the defendant, and a worker who has an alibi for the time of the crime. The defendant was found unconscious right in front of the victim, who was bleeding out onto the floor. Furthermore, she was holding a weapon, without a doubt. That's what was used to kill the victim. She seems like such a bright girl. It's most unfortunate. Your Honor, I would like to submit these pieces of evidence to the court. First, I have the autopsy report performed by the Crown's top coroner. Autopsy report added to the court record. Here is what we determined to be the murder weapon, which we took from the defendant's hands. Saw added to the court record. To make sure we had the correct weapon, we conducted a very thorough investigation. Naturally, we searched everyone and thoroughly examined the ranch and its vicinity. Nothing unusual was found, but to be safe, we also checked the ranch's inventory list to see whether anything was missing. The list matches the items we found on the ranch exactly, and nothing but the saw had fresh blood on it. That does sound quite compelling. This must have been a truly terrifying scene. Dying from a wound made by a weapon like this is extremely painful. This only helps to prove the defendant's viciousness. At this rate, they're going to paint Malin as some heartless monster. There's one more thing I feel I should mention for the sake of completeness. Shortly after we arrived at the ranch, a courier showed up to take some milk shipments. Of course, business must go on. Is this really necessary to enter into evidence, though? The shipments did end up leaving the ranch, so I feel it bears mentioning. Were the contents checked before you let them go? Naturally. Who do you take us for? Even though the worker handling the shipments did get quite worked up about it, we cracked all the boxes open to check what was inside. In the end, it did turn out to be only milk bottles, so we let them through. Very well. Thank you for your thoroughness, detective. So, what happens now? Well, this is where I step in and perform a cross-examination. Oh, great. How does that work? Huh? Could you explain what you're going to be doing? Can't hurt to go over this again. Sure, why not? The witness will repeat her testimony. I'll be able to scroll back and forth through individual statements by pressing A and B, or with the control sticks. They'll just repeat it as many times as you want? That's right. I have to consider every little detail. Can't miss a thing. If I want more information about something, I can use L or Z to press the statement and ask the witness a question. Grill them for info. Yes. Since the witness has come up with an answer on the spot, if they're lying, prompting for more info can make them slip up. Most importantly, though, if I find something that doesn't line up with the evidence, I can press R to bring up the court record. The court record is basically a list of all the evidence, right? Yes! I can open it at any time to recheck the facts. After choosing the contradicting item, I can press up to raise an objection and present my doubts to the court. Oh, and I can not only present evidence, but profiles as well. Profiles? The court record contains a list of all the people involved, too. I can switch between evidence and profiles with the R button. If I need to review what's been said recently, I can also press start to see a history of messages, just like that. Proof that I can stand in court as an attorney, a childhood photo, deep irregular wound made with a sharp metal object. Victim died from loss of blood no later than 8 a.m. Supposed murder weapon found in Malon's hands, clean of blood. A list of equipment on the ranch, A for details. 15th of March, from Ingo. Rakes, hoses, buckets, hammers, knives, wood saws, saddles, horseshoes, axes, brooms. The one wood saw is suspicious. And some orders of milk that left the ranch a little while after the crime. Profiles. My longtime friend and the defendant in this case. The victim, owner of the ranch. The judge. Ganondorf. Rude to others, easily angered. Head of detectives. This is wild, dude. Okay, I see. That makes sense. Is the defense done whispering? Sorry. He's so upset about it. Why doesn't he just press the C right to skip ahead? Good tutorial. The defense is ready to cross-examine the witness. Bah! A waste of time. I sincerely hope you're not implying the standard court procedure is a waste of time, Mr. Dragmeyer. In any case, we are ready. Defense, please begin the cross-examination. I'm just noticing now that the window is a little missized. Let me fix that, guys. Sorry about that. There we go. All right. Hold it. What makes you think she's the culprit? She's just about to tell you. Keep quiet and listen. Right. Sorry. Indeed, as I was saying. Okay, so it is with regret that I agree with Mr. Dragmeyer. All the evidence points towards this girl being the culprit. We determined that the murder definitely took place inside of the ranch house. Oh yeah? Tell me more. And just how did you do that? It's quite simple. There was no blood found anywhere else. Had the victim been attacked at some other location, we'd expect a trail of it leading to the scene. Couldn't the killer have just cleaned it all up? Certainly not. The path to the ranch house at Lon Ranch is not paved in any way. Cleaning blood off the ground would have required disturbing the soil, Naturally, we found nothing of the sort. Bah! There wouldn't have been enough time to pull that off anyway. Likely true. Right. It sounds like the location of the crime scene is pretty firm, but I'm not giving up yet. There were only 3 people on the ranch. The victim, the defendant, and a worker who had an alibi for the time of the crime. 3? 3 people, you say? I guess that would have to be Mr. Ingo. Let me stop you before you start getting too excited. If you had listened to the rest of what the detective said, you'd notice she mentioned an alibi. Indeed. We're pretty certain that the ranch worker couldn't have been involved. Well, what is the alibi then? You might remember I brought up some outgoing milk shipments. Well, the worker, Ingo, was in charge of them. He left the ranch house first thing in the morning and was busy preparing the shipments after that. Is that so? Surely he could have gotten away from that for one really quick little murder. Bah, this wouldn't just be a quick little murder, as you so crudely put it. He'd have to have taken steps to hide his involvement, too. There was definitely not enough time for that. Unfortunately, I agree. Preparing a shipment is a lot of work. You have to milk all the cows, clean all the bottles, pour the milk out into them, arrange them all in the crates, and finally load it all up onto a wagon. Usually, I had to do it together with Father to finish before the courier arrived. The shipments were already ready when we arrived at the ranch. When we checked the boxes, they were fully loaded and filled with milk bottles. So this Ingo was able to do the work of 2 people all on his own. Isn't that a bit odd? Odd or not, he evidently did just that. Clearly, he's a man dedicated to his job. Or perhaps the girl and her father are just very inefficient. This whole thing seems awfully suspicious if you ask me. But I guess I have nothing to dispute it with. The defendant was found unconscious right in front of the victim. Malin fainted? Correct. We couldn't get her to wake for a long time. Eventually, we decided to administer a healing fairy so she could be questioned. I guess finding the body was just that much of a shock, huh? Ha! Probably just pretending, trying to make it look like she had merely found the body. In any event... Furthermore, she was holding a weapon. Without a doubt, that's what was used to kill the victim. And how can you be so sure of this? Look at the autopsy report. Deep, irregular wounds made with a sharp metal object. The saw was the only sharp implement in the ranch house that could produce such a wound. And as I've already mentioned, we also looked closely at all other sharp things on the ranch. None had recent blood on them. That still doesn't necessarily mean the saw was the murder weapon. Maybe the real culprit hid the real one. Oh yeah? Prove it then. Show us the real murder weapon. Well, I definitely don't have any way to do that. Still, something bothers me about that saw. So, you have nothing. What a waste of time. Alright, I want to get the last press before I present the saw as evidence. We've known each other for years, yet she murdered her father in cold blood. How curious. Perhaps you're just a bad judge of character, both of you. No way. Just give me some time and I'm going to prove it. Do you see anything wrong yet? Well, usually it's difficult to find anything wrong with the basic facts of the case. That said, I do think I saw one small thing. Really? That's great. It sure is, because I've got to poke all the holes I can find before the princess gets here. So we have that the saw was clean of blood. Objection! Huh. This seems like a fairly large oversight. I just want to make sure of something. The state the saw is currently in is how you found it at the crime scene. That's correct? That's strange, considering how much the victim bled out and how deep his wound was. Why is there no blood on the supposed murder weapon? Ha! Is that all you have? What? Naturally, the prosecution has an explanation for why the saw is clean. Behold, this cloth was found in the defendant's other hand. As you can plainly see, it is stained with blood. The defendant simply wiped the murder weapon in a futile attempt to hide her involvement. If Malin was trying to hide her involvement, why didn't she just leave the crime scene? Bah! Obviously, she was trying to hide the body before the royal visitation arrived at the ranch. Unfortunately for her, it just so happened that the delegation arrived quite a bit earlier than scheduled. In a panic, she quickly wiped the saw off and pretended to faint to make it look like she just stumbled upon the scene. Young lady, things are not looking very good for you right now. The court accepts the bloodied cloth into evidence. So, what's the story with the cloth? Well, as I was doing a final check around the ranch, I noticed that part of the fence around the horse's paddock was damaged. Not entirely sure what happened, but sometimes one of the horses just gets a bit too rowdy, you know? Right. Anyway, I didn't want to bother Mr. Ingo about it, so I tried to cut up a new rail all by myself to patch it up. But then the saw slipped and I cut my hand open. Ugh! Oh goodness, are you okay? Well, it wasn't that bad. It did bleed quite a lot though, so I used that cloth to quickly bandage the wound. I was actually going into the ranch house to ask Father to help me with the fence. Ha! A likely story. And impossible to verify now, of course. The Sheikah Force had to use a healing fairy on the defendant to get her out of the supposed unconsciousness. I do have to give her some credit. She is one criminal woman. She knew that would explain a sudden lack of any wound on her hand. Ho ho! Why yes, fairies are wonderful. Just the other day I slammed my hand with the gavel and one took the pain off immediately. Hey Bob, thanks for that sub, dude! Appreciate that. Should you restart from the beginning or are you not missing too much? You haven't missed too much. No, you're good. I'll get it on the VOD channel later too, so you can catch up there if you want. Great! Glad to know they're used for such important things. But, dang it. Too bad there's no way to tell whose blood is on the cloth. I do believe this matter has been settled. I am ready to call my next witness. Uh-oh. Is that all I can get out of her? You've served your purpose, Sheikah. Be gone. Fine. But you had best treat Her Highness with respect, or I'll see to it that you spend the night in the dungeons. Do not presume to threaten me, Sheikah. A night of darkness and solitude would be nothing but comfort for me. Is that so? Then perhaps we should fill the dungeons with lit candles for the occasion. They're glaring daggers at each other. If this doesn't end soon, we're all in trouble. Order, order, order. I'm sure we'll all treat the princess with the utmost respect. You may step down, detective. This case has already made me weary with all the pointless jabber. The time is ripe to deal the final blow. I call Her Highness, Princess Zelda of Hyrule, to the stand. Is something the matter? Why is everyone quiet all of a sudden? Your Highness, I believe we're all just a bit uncertain on how to proceed. It is quite the honor to have such an esteemed guest in these halls. Bah! In the face of the law, the princess is no different from a peasant. Name and occupation. The prosecution will behave. I will not have any derogatory statements directed at the princess. Derogatory? I simply wish not to waste any more time. We must employ proper procedure. Oh, man. It's all right, detective. I believe the prosecution does have a point. In the eyes of the law, we are all equals. On this stand, I am just another witness. I should not be getting any special treatment. Very admirable, Your Highness. We can all rest easy knowing that Hyrule is destined to have such a wise monarch in its future. This little shit. Yes, indeed. I eagerly await the day when our next ruler takes the throne and reshapes the kingdom in their image. You flatter me, prosecutor. Now then, I believe I was asked for my name and occupation. I'm Zelda, current princess of Hyrule and heir apparent of the throne. Marvelous, Your Highness. Before we begin, I would like to know, why were you at Lon Lon Ranch to witness this terrible incident? Oh, it's simple, really. Lon Lon Ranch is Hyrule Castletown's biggest food supplier. Not only that, but the ranch is also equips Hyrule Royal Guard with the finest of horses. Every year, the royal family makes a visit as a gesture of goodwill and to ensure the quality of the steeds. Wow, I didn't know your horses were used by the Royal Guard. Yep. We work hard every year to make sure they're in the best possible condition. Father loved to boast about it to the other ranch owners. Knowing Talon, I'm sure he did. How unfortunate that the ranch may no longer meet the Crown's high standard under new management. The royal family has a backup, I trust. We are looking for one. Naturally, those standards are quite high. Yes, of course. Now then, please describe what you saw on the day of the incident. Very well. Here I go. The scene behind the door. I arrived at Lon Lon Ranch a little after 8 a.m., accompanied by my loyal guards. I remember being surprised at how quiet everything was. There was nobody there to welcome us. I could sense that something was wrong. I opened the door to the ranch house, and went inside. The room was mostly empty. There was a table with some kind of crystal bottle on top of it. But in front of the table, a terrifying scene unveiling. The defendant hacked at the ranch owner's chest with the saw she was holding. I was overcome with fear and I screamed. I will never forget what I saw that day. I heard that Talon and his daughter were incredibly kind. I cannot believe she would commit such horrible violence. Oh my, you saw the very moment the victim was killed? There you go. Decisive testimony. As there is no need to doubt the princess's statement, I call for the judge to make a ruling right away. Hey now, hold on. I didn't get to cross-examine the witness yet. You haven't, fool, because there's no need. Did you not hear one word of what I said? Didn't you just say we should follow all the procedures and treat the princess like any other witness? This is the defense's right. You complete. I believe the defense has a point. They do have every right to perform a cross-examination, no matter who is testifying. I was quite looking forward to this part myself. I have only ever read about court proceedings in the Royal Library. That being said, I will not tolerate any reckless accusations towards the princess. Is that clear? Naturally, Your Honor. How am I going to cross-examine the princess? This isn't going to end well. What's gotten into the prosecutor? That seemed like a rather intense outburst. Well, I do have a guess. Oh? Because of the princess's status, it's possible that Dragmire didn't have an opportunity to discuss her testimony with her. That might mean that this testimony is a surprise, even to him. This could be my chance. Before we begin, there is just one thing that caught my attention. I believe the princess mentioned seeing some kind of glass bottle at the crime scene. That would be this, I presume. Why, yes, that is exactly it. What is that? Oh, that is the bottle of perfume that Father intended to give to Her Highness when she arrived. He quickly rode out to town to get it at the last moment. We didn't know that the princess was coming instead of the king until only about 2 hours before the visitation. Oh, how thoughtful. He really did not need to bother himself. So, as fascinating as all this is, the prosecution doesn't believe it's relevant to the case. It's good to have a full picture of the crime scene. The defense requests the bottle be accepted into evidence. Bah! Desperate to latch on to every little thing, are you? Whatever. You can add it to the evidence if it'll make you happy. No skin off my teeth. In that case, the court accepts this bottle into evidence. The perfume bottle has been added to the court record. Now then, defense, begin your cross-examination. Okay, I gotta check out my new evidence pieces. The scene behind the door. I love that. All right, let's take a look. So we got the bloody cloth found clenched by Malin at the crime scene. Supposedly she wiped the saw clean with this. Ranch's gift for the princess, bought just before the crime, found at the scene of the crime. From loss of blood no later than 8 a.m. Okay, so I arrived at Lon Lon Ranch a little after 8 a.m. accompanied by my loyal guards. If these guards were with Her Highness, why were they not called as witnesses? We did question the guards, naturally. Apparently, they didn't get to see anything relevant. I was the only one to enter the crime scene. After seeing what was inside, I stood guard and insisted no one be allowed inside until the Sheikah Force arrived. I have read that preserving the scene is vital. Quite correct. I'm sure the guards were absolutely thrilled with this order. Please proceed, witness. I remember being surprised at how quiet everything was. There was nobody there to welcome us. Oh yeah! Thank you very much, Dooner! Appreciate that primer. Have you conducted these royal visitations in the past, Your Highness? No. This was my first one. Up until last year, my father was always the one to visit Lon Lon Ranch. However, he decided I had to start preparing for all the royal duties that await me, and so I was to do it this time. You will doubtlessly perform admirably as ruler when the time comes. What happened when you got into the ranch house? I could sense that something was wrong. I opened the door to the ranch house and went inside. And what then? Stop interrupting and let her get to the point. Defense! I believe I was clear about not badgering the witness. Drat, I need to calm down. The room was mostly empty. There was a table with some kind of crystal bottle on top of it. You paid attention to something like that after seeing a murder, princess? Well, I spent a rather long time in there waiting for the Sheikah Force to arrive. Plus, that bottle is quite beautiful. It just stood out. But in front of the table, a terrifying scene was unveiling. The defendant hacked at the ranch owner's chest with the saw she was holding. You were there at the exact time of the murder, Your Highness? That is correct. That's impossible. You're lying. The defendant will curb her outbursts. You're addressing royalty. This is really bad. What now? Ask about the crime scene. Where was the victim and the killer at this time? The ranch owner was in front of a little table that is directly across from the entrance door. The defendant was right in front of him and quickly fainted after her attack. A large pool of blood started forming where the victim was. I had a rather good view of the whole scene. Right. It is as unfortunate as it is fortunate that you could see the whole thing in such detail. Now please continue. Should I ask something else? Ask about what was outside. Are you sure there wasn't anyone else at the ranch, Your Highness? No, the place looked empty. Although I did later see a worker pull up a loaded wagon when a courier came asking about milk shipments. He caused a little bit of the scene when the Sheikah Force started inspecting it. The worker must have been somewhere else on the ranch, I suppose. The ranch is pretty large. Said worker was inside a building on the other side. It's quite understandable she wouldn't have seen him until later. Drat, this really doesn't give me a whole lot to work with. Should I ask something else? I'm not going to accuse Zelda of the crime. That's crazy. That's going to get me in trouble. The only thing I have is the victim died from loss of blood no later than 8 a.m., right? But she showed up after 8 a.m. Where is it? A little after 8 a.m. So if she witnessed the crime scene, that doesn't match up. If she witnessed it, that doesn't match up. I want to get the rest of the information, so I'm going to keep pressing. Are you sure you got a good look then, Your Highness? You didn't look away in panic? The princess was very brave to take control of the situation the way that she did. There is no need to doubt what she saw. Yes, I suppose what she did was admirable. If only we had arrived earlier. Your Highness, don't blame yourself for this. If you'd arrived earlier, you could have been the one that got attacked. Ha! So you would have lashed out at anyone trying to stop you, huh? Despicable. That's not what she meant, and you know it. Princess, please, go on. Very well. I heard that Talon and his daughter were incredibly kind. I cannot believe she would commit such horrible act of violence. Trust your heart, Your Highness. You know that Malon didn't do this. What nonsense. Her heart? What do her organs have to do with anything? Oh, of course, evidence and testimony be damned. Just because we feel the defendant must be innocent. Oh, well, if you're sure, then I declare today's verdict. Have you gone senile, old man? It was a joke! Much like the arguments the defense has been presenting. I can't believe the princess would lie like this. Yeah, it really is shocking. You don't believe her, right? Even if she's the princess, that means nothing. I didn't do it. To trust authority or your best friend? I'll need something very concrete to disprove what the princess is saying. The defendant hacked at the ranch owner's chest with the saw she was holding. I'm gonna do a save state. I'm gonna do a save state just because I'm a little nervous. I'm gonna do a little save state, and you're not gonna say nothing about it. Your Honor, Your Highness, I believe I found something that doesn't quite match up with the facts. How dare you question the princess? You will let the defense speak, prosecutor. I think I see why he so desperately wanted to prevent this cross-examination now. Your Highness, you stated that you arrived at the ranch shortly after 8 a.m., correct? Yes, the visit was scheduled for 8:30 exactly, but we were quite a bit early. I see. That makes something you mentioned quite impossible. As stated by the autopsy report, the victim definitely died before 8 a.m. You couldn't have seen the defendant attack the ranch owner when you arrived. Because the victim was already dead by then! Order! Order! Yes, you've caught her in a lie! Your Highness, what is the meaning of this? While I wholeheartedly respect and serve the crown, I will nonetheless not tolerate lies in my court. I have not lied. I suppose I did not see the exact moment it happened. I guess I only thought I did. Princess, this is a matter of life and death. I definitely saw the defendant there, though, along with the body. There is no one else who could have done it. I remember all of the other details correctly. The body's on the floor, the pool of blood. You have to believe me. Perhaps it'll be best if Her Highness revises her testimony. That's not good. There's still not enough doubt to overturn this testimony. I'll have to find something else or this case will be over. Who died? The owner of the ranch, Malon's dad. What I actually saw. Okay, all right. I'm sorry for embellishing the truth of the... Oh, I'm sorry for lying to the courtrooms, you fucking loser. I didn't see the actual moment of the attack, but it had to have happened shortly before I went into the ranch house. Miss Malon and her father were the only ones at the scene of the crime, so she must be the culprit. I see. You only saw the aftermath of the scene, not the actual crime being committed. Very well. Hopefully, there are no issues in your testimony this time. Defense, it is time for your cross-examination. Naturally, Your Honor. Sammy, thank you very much for 70 months. We've got Ocarina of Attorney. That's what you're looking at. I bet he didn't expect such a blatant contradiction to pop up. If I could just find another one like that, the princess's testimony would become completely untrustworthy in the judge's eyes. I bet you 5 gifted subs. There is something wrong with her testimony. I'm sorry for lying to the courtroom. Why did you do that, Your Highness? There is a life on the line here. I really am sorry. I suppose I got a bit too excited about being a witness in an actual murder trial. Really now. Most people hate testifying. Yes, well, the life of a princess is rather boring, you know. This is quite a break from the routine for me. Should just get a hobby. I did not see the actual moment of the attack. In that case, it can't be conclusively proven that the defendant did it. Defense, did you exhaust your singular brain cell on the last contradiction you found? Hey, Patrick Patan, thank you very much for the resub, dude. Thank you, thank you. There's a Death Mountain's worth of evidence pointing to the defendant. Just because no one saw the actual moment of the crime doesn't mean anyone else could have done it. I think you're making a Death Mountain out of a Death Molehill. But it had to have happened shortly before I went into the ranch house. How can you be so sure of that, Princess? Well, when I entered the ranch house, the victim still had the murder weapon embedded into his body. What? It is obvious what that means, is it not? The killer did not even have enough time to try to hide the weapon. Yes, I might not have seen the murder, but I must have been very close to doing so. Oh my, this seems like a very important detail. I think it would be advisable for Her Highness to amend her testimony. Certainly, Your Honor. Interesting. Dragmeyer certainly doesn't look very happy about this development, does he? Thinking about it, I might just know why. If the murder weapon was still stuck in the body, there's no way it's clean of blood. There's no way it's clean of blood. Let's press on this one. That doesn't necessarily mean that my client was the one to do it, though. What if someone else snuck in before Malon and the princess arrived? Well, I suppose. Lon Lon Ranch is surrounded by high walls, and the only way in is through a self-locking gate. Not very many people have a key for that gate, just the personnel and the crown. Well, someone could have forced their way in. Bah! If you wish to propose such a possibility, you must substantiate it with evidence. Do you have any proof that another person showed up at the ranch house before the princess? Do I? No. No, I don't. I don't have any proof. There must be another angle I can attack this from. Very well, witness. Since the defense has wisely chosen to stay silent, please continue your testimony. Miss Malin and her father were the only ones at the scene of the crime, so she must be the culprit. Are you sure Malin was the only person there other than the victim? From what I recall, there's an upstairs room in the ranch house. What if someone was hiding there? Don't be stupid, defense. If someone was hiding up there, the Sheikah force would have found them. I stood guard at the door the entire time. No one could have left. What if they jumped out of a window? Do not be ridiculous. Those windows are high up. Actually, those windows can't even be opened. They'd have to break one to leave. Right. Well, this is a little more plausible than the last testimony she gave. Yeah, I suppose it matches the detective's account, doesn't it? Still, I feel like something here sticks out like a sore thumb. Yeah, it's the murder weapon was still stuck into the victim's body after all. Then the saw couldn't have been cleaned because she wouldn't be able to wipe it because she was already passed out. I have to present the saw. I believe I found another reason to doubt the witness's words. It seems the prosecution sees what I'm getting at here. There was a bloody cloth discovered at the scene of the crime. The prosecution argued before that it was used to wipe the saw clean. If the princess saw the saw lodged into Talon's body and the crime scene was left intact, then it couldn't have been wiped! Well, Prosecutor Dragmeyer, care to look at how smug he looks. Look at this smug son of a bitch. Gah. This is most perplexing. Your Highness, are you sure that's what you saw? Well, maybe the princess decided to pull the saw out valiantly in a valiant yet futile attempt to save the victim, and then wipe the blade clean. That would be almost like framing the defendant. Of course I did no such thing. I made sure the crime scene stayed intact. I guess I must have made up the memory about the saw sticking out of Mr. Talon. Oh, I lied to the courtrooms again, because I'm a piece of shit. You idiotic girl! Do you even realize what you've done through your bumbling? I'm sorry. I was just so excited to stand as a witness in court just this once. Whenever I try telling my father about anything, he always seems so disinterested. Just this once, I wanted to feel listened to. The defendant, it is clear that she did it. I just wanted to play a larger part in her capture. I am sorry for the trouble I have caused you all. Your Highness, the court is no place for silly games. As it stands, I am afraid we will have to strike your statements from the court record completely. Yes, I did it. The prosecution lost their key witness. No! Please, wait, I have more to say. I was wrong about the crime scene, but I still have not yet testified about what I saw afterwards. Why would we care about that? It's best that you leave and stop damaging my case with your idiocy. Even if you are not interested in my words, you might be interested in the evidence that I found. What? Shit, wrong button. What? Huh? Evidence? Of course. While the Sheikah force investigated inside the ranch house, I looked around the rest of the ranch on my own. Sheikah? Did you know about this? Of course I did. You did? I'll have your head for this. Order. Order. What is the meaning of this, detective? Why have you withheld this from the court? It's quite simple. The princess specifically requested to present her findings on her own. What? And you agreed to this? The court is not some playground where children decide what evidence should be presented just because they have a crown. He's being rude about it, but I can't help but agree with Dragmire on this one. Also, I don't really buy this story. There's no way Impo would have allowed this. Believe me, I wasn't thrilled about the request either. However, after seeing the evidence in question, I didn't think it would be at all important to the case. Thus, I let the princess have her fun. This is highly, highly irregular. I'm not sure how to feel about this. Prosecutor? Bah. Naturally, I object to this nonsense. If the detective thinks it's irrelevant, then it is probably just a waste of time. All the evidence points to the defendant. It's still clear she did it, even without a witness at the scene. I see. Defense. What do we do? If we object to presenting the evidence, then Dragmire loses his key witness. Plus, whatever the princess presents could be bad for our case, too. So we should agree with the prosecution? Well, on the other hand, we don't really have much to go on. This could be our only lead left. Well, don't keep us waiting. Surely you won't throw away all the progress you've made thus far. What do I do? I want the evidence. Give me the evidence. I really hope this is the right choice. The defense requests that the evidence be presented. What? While I agree that the situation is irregular, we should still examine all of the evidence available. It would be silly to dismiss it as irrelevant without even seeing what it is. I do believe you have a point, defense. However, I must warn you, in order to admit this piece of evidence into the court record, the princess's statement that she found it somewhere away from the scene has to be admitted as testimony. Yes, Your Honor, I am well aware. The defense wishes to give the princess just one more chance. Of all the idiotic, foolish order. Very well, then. Your Highness, please testify once more about the new piece of evidence you found during your investigation. Thank you. I will not let you down this time. The princess should understand the gravity of the situation at hand now. I just hope this new evidence isn't damaging to our case. This is all we got, man. My findings. I wish to express my most heartfelt apologies for my mistake in the earlier testimony. Upon entering the ranch house, I saw the defendant passed out in front of the victim, who was bleeding out. I stood guard at the entrance of the ranch house until the Sheikah force arrived. Once the Sheikah started investigating the crime scene, I decided to take a look around the ranch. While I was walking near the silo, I noticed a strong odor in the air. I had to stop and see where it was coming from. I followed the scent and found a burned-out fire nearby and a small, near-empty bottle of lamp oil. I, of course, took the bottle straight to the head detective. And here it is, the oil bottle I found. Is something wrong? Oh no, this might actually be completely irrelevant. Yes, well, of course there is, foolish girl. That has nothing to do with anything. Your great finding is some random fire on a ranch? Please, what's next? Are you going to declare every rake on the premises suspicious? Well, The prosecution will calm down. This is bad. Your Honor, despite the fact that this evidence might not seem to add anything at the moment, the defense still asserts its right to a cross-examination. Why must you insist on this charade, defense? The princess has merely recounted the same view of the crime scene as the head detective. You haven't been able to find any contradictions in her statements. I believe there might be a way to tie the princess's new evidence into the case. Ridiculous! Regardless of what the prosecution thinks, the defense does have the right. The court admits the oil bottle into evidence. I just really hope this isn't a complete waste of time, defense. Found at the ranch near a burned out fire, has a tiny bit of oil inside. For both your sake and your clients. Oh, God. Oh, God. Cross-examination. My findings. I wish to express my most heartfelt apologies for my mistake earlier in the testimony. Upon entering the ranch house, I saw the defendant passed out in front of the victim, who was bleeding out. I stood guard at the entrance until the Sheikah force arrived. I decided to look around the ranch. I want to ask more about that. You didn't just go home. The royal visitation was supposed to last a lot longer. Father was not expecting us back at the castle until much later. I came to the ranch to examine horses, so I supposed I could at least do that in the meantime. How long did it take the Sheikah to arrive at the scene? It does not take very long to make a trip from Hyrule Castletown to Lon Lon Ranch. I cannot imagine it was more than 20 minutes. That is pretty fast. Although I imagine the fact that the princess was involved helped speed it up. Slow pokes. I would be there in half that time. Running backwards, even. I suppose it's no surprise, though. Hylian horses are naturally inferior to our fine Gerudo steeds. The Gerudo buy horses from our ranch. Just don't bother. He's trying to rile you up. Nah. While I was walking near the silo, I noticed a strong odor in the air. I had to stop to see where it was coming from. What was the smell like? Oh, it was awful. I missed it. Surely you don't mean to say that you found the smell of horses' manure suspicious. Do not be ridiculous. The smell was not coming from horses. I followed the scent and found a burned out fire nearby and a small, nearly empty bottle of lamp oil. A fire, huh? Now, let me remind you, defense, that there's any number of reasons why a fire could have been there. You can still feel the cold grasps of death early in the morn. Princess, how long would you estimate the fire had been out before you found it? Right. There was still smoke rising from the ashes, so it must have been put out recently. So, around the time of the crime. So, someone prepared their breakfast there. I repeat, this fire is irrelevant. I think he's realized the same thing I did. Well, who was it? Who could have lit that fire anyway? It would have to have been the ranch worker who was putting the milk shipment together at the time. It was almost certainly him. If you really want to ask about his little barbecue, you might just get your wish soon. Doesn't sound like it was very appetizing. But without anything concrete to pin on him, he'll just be able to brush it off. I, of course, took the bottle straight to the head detective. Right, and she allowed you to present it? Well, I was the one to find it. And since I was going to the trial anyway, utter ridiculousness. Yes. Please make this the last time you do something like this, Your Highness. Proper procedure exists for a reason. Yes, I understand. Do you have any idea why there would be a fire at the ranch that day? No, it's pretty odd. Then it sounds like it's definitely worth looking into, although it'll be hard to link it to the crime in any way. In situations like these, getting as much info as possible is my best bet. All right, let's press the last few statements. There's no need to press the princess on her apology. You already wasted the chance to throw out her testimony. Yes, defense. Please get to the point. Oh my God. Upon entering the ranch house, I saw the defendant passed out in front of the victim who was bleeding out. Was there anything else in the room? Only the beautiful little crystal bottle I mentioned before. The house was rather barren. Most of our things are on the top floor, since downstairs is mostly for ranch business these days. And the occasional game. Ah, of course. Dad's famous Cuckoo game. The good old days. Is the defense done reminiscing? There will be plenty of time to do that when the defendant's behind bars. I was just trying to distract myself from the fact that there's nothing to latch onto here. I stood guard at the entrance of the ranch house until the Sheikah force arrived. Did anything happen during that time? No, not that I recall. The guards did occasionally protest and ask me to let them take over, but I held my stance. While commendable in theory, staying in the same room as a dangerous killer isn't very wise. What if she woke up and lashed out at you? Sweet Hylia up above. Hi. That thought did not occur to me. Bah, of course not. Foolish girl. But the guards did stand close by. I would have been safe. Wonderful to see how much faith our princess has in our royal guard. Yes, of course I do. In any case. Defense, I believe that is enough. It doesn't seem like you're getting any closer to finding a connection between the fire and the crime at all. No, I suppose not, Your Honor. Naturally. I've said this was a waste of time from the beginning. In that case, this cross-examination is over. Thank you for your time, Your Highness. I assume you'll have no more revelations to share with us? No, I don't. I really thought the fire would be important. Leave my sight. Enough. Your Highness, if you'd allow me to escort you back to Hyrule Castle. Very well. Now that the princess's little game is over, we should move this along. The prosecution's stance is still the same, of course. We maintain that the evidence on its own is enough to convict the defendant. I do believe I am nearly ready to hand down my verdict. But, Your Honor, there's nothing that definitively shows that Malin committed the crime. This is all circumstantial. There's no way she could kill her own father. Ah, that is a good point, defense. The prosecution has yet to elaborate on the defendant's motive. Patricide is not something a person commits lightly. Bah! I did briefly touch on the subject during my opening statement, but naturally, the prosecution is fully prepared to elaborate on the matter. I would like to call in my third witness. That has to be the ranch worker. Before calling him in, though, the prosecution requests a brief recess to prepare. I thought you said you were already prepared. Maybe he wants to double check that his new witness won't pull anything weird like the princess did. Very well. I do believe a break would benefit us all. The court will reconvene after a 15-minute recess. Court is adjourned. Nice. Nice. This is awesome. This is so cool so far. I'm loving this. I'm loving this a lot. Guys, do you think Do you think the fire is going to tie back in any way? I kind of got a feeling that the fire is that bottle is going to tie back in some way. This is called Hero of Law, Sammy. It's called Hero of Law. Yeah, I have a feeling that Ingo used the fire to burn the evidence, and something with hiding evidence in the milk crates or in the bottles of milk has to be the answer. Yeah, I feel like that's my theory going right now. That's my theory. Do you know if this is one case or if the mod has several? I'm not sure. I do not know. I'm not sure if it has more than one or if it's just one, but we'll find out. Let's jump back in. Let's get back in. It's not going all that well, is it? No, I think that went about as well as it could have, actually, given the circumstances. We exposed the worst of the princess's testimony as untrue. Ugh, I can't believe she just makes stuff up like that. Yeah, that was surprising. Still, the issue is that we didn't manage to shake the core of the argument. If only there was anyone else in that house. Now, there's no need to look so glum. Detective, aren't you supposed to be escorting the princess back? The carriage is being prepared. I thought I'd drop by in the meantime. You've really managed to make Dragmire furious, you know. I have. If you listen carefully, you just might be able to hear him ranting over in the prosecutor's lobby. He's really giving his upcoming witness a grilling. Expect him to try to shut you down as fast as he can. Well, that would be worrying if I had anything he could shut down in the first place, I guess. Oh? But you do. What do you mean? Oh, come on now. I'm talking about the princess's grand discovery, of course. The fire? I wasn't able to do anything with that. You really think it's relevant? Don't get me wrong. At present, I'm convinced the girl did it. We investigated and came to this conclusion for a reason. But I'm willing to explore every possibility. That fire is definitely a bit strange, and I dare say it may be your only way out of this. If I may be so bold, I think you should press the next witness on that topic hard. As the only other person working on the ranch at the time, he is the only one who could have lit that fire. If he is hiding something, I think the court deserves to know. The thing is, the next testimony is about the motive. It's going to be difficult to bring up the fire again without Dragmire objecting. You'll have to make it work. As much as I don't like it, she's right. There really isn't a whole lot else to go on here. Well, thank you. Don't mention it. One last thing. You, ranch girl. Me? Try not to hold that testimony against the princess. Believe me, I'm sure she was acting with the best of intentions in mind. You know the road to the Dark Realm is paved with those, right? Perhaps. It was definitely a serious lapse of judgment. One she will live to regret. Part of this comes from the fact that she's rather sheltered and inexperienced. After the sudden death of her older sister last year, she was thrust into the role of an heir very suddenly. Maybe there will be more cases. That's right, the mysterious death of the firstborn Princess Zelda. Hyrule still grieves after the events of that day, and yet no one knows exactly what happened. In the void of information, conspiracy theories run amok. People blaming the Royal Guard, the Sheikah, even the king himself. The princess will soon have a whole kingdom's worth of trouble on her shoulders. For a kingdom with a history as turbulent as ours, it's a lot to handle. The princess's conduct today probably won't help with the distrust some people have of the crown right now, though. She's wise beyond her years. She will learn, and she will be better. I simply ask that you don't think of her as an enemy, whatever comes of this trial. She does not need more than she already has. Wow, she's so intense. I never expected to see Impa get so emotional. I guess all this is why she decided to take blame for the princess's impromptu investigation. Detective Impa! What is it, soldier? I am quite busy at the moment, so please, be quick. The investigation team back at the ranch has sent word of a new development. Something about a milk shipment being returned to the ranch because of a wrong recipient address? They're asking you to come over to see it. The milk shipment? Oh, those idiots. I don't have time for this. Send someone else. I have to escort the princess to the castle. Roger. That did remind me, though. I took this bottle of milk from a couple of guards who were slacking on the job earlier. Here, ranch girl. Perhaps it'll help calm your nerves somewhat. Not to worry. It's still unopened. Oh? Thank you. That's nice of her. Too bad for those guards, though. Now then, I believe the princess's carriage should be prepared by now. If you'll excuse me. I think I'm so nervous right now. Milk has just lost its flavor. Huh? Lost its flavor? But Lon Lon milk is always so tasty. Are you sure it's just nerves? Let me try some. Huh. You're right. I assumed this would have come from one of yesterday's shipments. Probably. With the investigation at the ranch, there wouldn't be any today, so... Maybe it just isn't fresh? No. I don't think so. It doesn't really taste as if it's gone bad. Also, the guard said that one of yesterday's shipments was misaddressed, didn't he? And this was all handled by Ingo, wasn't it? I think there's something odd going on. I'd better make some notes about this in the court record. Notes about shipment's return added to the court record. Lon Lon milk added to the court record. Defense! The court is about to reconvene. Escort your client back to the courtroom at once. Hold on, I gotta look at my milk. Apparently, one of the milk shipments was returned to the ranch due to being misaddressed from one of the yesterday's shipments. Impa brought it during recess. It seems strangely tasteless. Escort your client back to the courtroom at once. So it comes down to this. The conclusion's approaching. Oh, I got hearts on the screen. Court is back in session for the trial of Malin of Lon Lon Ranch. I trust that the prosecution's final witness is ready. Naturally, I have personally seen to it that there will be no foolishness this time around. Hopefully his ears are intact. As we discussed before the recess, having established the opportunity and means for the defendant to have committed the murder is the only matter that remains. The matter of motive, for naturally such a heinous crime couldn't be the result of mere happenstance. The prosecution believes the defendant had a deep desire that pushed her to patricide. Our next witness can shed light on the matter. Fascinating. Very well, please proceed. The prosecution calls ranch worker Ingo to the stand. Look at this sleazy, skeezy, ugh. Ha! It's funny to see Mr. Ingo in such fancy clothes. Oh? Yeah, he almost always just wears his work dungarees. It's almost like looking at a different person. Well, I guess he wanted to dress up for court, and he wouldn't want to get the nice outfit dirty by working in it. Quiet, defense! Witness, state your name and occupation. I like his theme song. Your Honor, great honorable prosecutor. My name is Ingo. I mind Lon Lon Ranch. Mind? What does that entail exactly? Banger remix. I'm mostly there to work on the structures and equipment. The owner and his daughter are the ones who tend to the animals and take care of orders. How long have you been working at the ranch? It'll be several years at this point. There have been others who came and went, but I, Ingo, have persevered through all the hardships. Sounds like he wants a medal for it. Well, he does get a bit pompous at times, but Mr. Ingo really is a great help. He built the ranch's silo single-handedly. Whoa, that's some dedication. Very well. Given that you're clearly an important employee, you are privy to some inside information. Is that correct? Yes. The ranch owner shared all the big plans with me. He trusted me implicitly. He used to say that we were like a big family. That sounds lovely. That sounds like a red flag that you're going to be getting loads of unpaid overtime. Evidently, not every member of your so-called family felt this way, did they? It hurts to do this, but I have no choice. Hear my story, honorable court of law. The matter of motive. Just a couple days ago, the owner, Talon, partly signed the ranch over to his daughter Malin. Talon became a life tenant, with Malin meant to inherit all of the assets after his death. As long as Talon lived, Malin could not sell the ranch. It's simple, isn't it? The girl killed Talon to get full ownership and leave the dingy ranch life behind. It's appalling how ungrateful she is after all Talon did for her. And there you have it. Testimony from a man who just lost everything. Truly tragic to witness yet another family torn apart by greed. We have evidence. We have the defendant caught red-handed at the scene of the crime, and now we have a motive. How do we know he's telling the truth? Bah! I have, of course, verified the witness's testimony. As per the law, all inheritance documents must be filed at the Castletown Notary Office to be considered valid. I saw fit to prepare this for the trial. The prosecution would like to submit the Lon Lon Ranch inheritance document into evidence. Bitch. Mr. Ingo, why would you... Malin will inherit the ranch. If she is unable, divide the deed between the crown and the remaining employees. You should pass judgment now, Judge. The defense has nothing. I don't think so. I don't know about that. I would like to cross-examine the witness. There are a few more details I feel are relevant. But of course, ask whatever you like. I, the hard-working Ingo, can handle it. Very well, defense. Please begin. The matter of motive. Just a couple days ago, the owner, Talon, partially signed the ranch over to his daughter, Malin. How long ago was this exactly? 3-4 days? I'm not sure on the exact date. Had it been planned for a long time? Talon was getting on in years. Better to take care of the matter sooner than later, eh? Malin. He is telling the truth. Father scheduled a visit to the notary office about a week ago. What do you mean by partly, witness? Talon became a life tenant, with Malin meant to inherit all the assets after his death. So Malin hadn't become the ranch owner yet? Well, of course not. Hadn't you heard all the stories making rounds recently? So many ungrateful brats throwing their old folks into retirement homes the moment ownership is signed over to them. Talon was no fool. I myself convinced him that it was a safer option. If the girl was up to some chicanery, he could always revert his decision. That's horrible. I'd never do that. As much as I'd like to believe that, you did much worse by killing him. Children these days, you feed them, you raise them, and they pull a stunt like this as soon as you give them an inch over yourself. I must concur. The young generation is horrible. Why did he look at me while saying that? Anyway, what that meant was, as long as Talon lived, Malin could not sell the ranch. But why would Malin want to sell the ranch right now? Why wouldn't she want to? Why would a pretty little girl like her want to work on some dingy ranch? She'd have it much better if she sold the old place and used the money to move to Castletown. That's not true. I love working with the animals. I wouldn't leave them for anything. She's often slacking on a job while I, the hard-working Ingo, have to cover for her. I guess the Deku nut doesn't fall far from the tree, as they say. That Talon loved to sleep on the job, too. I do recall a funny story about the Lon Lon Ranch owner blocking the side entrance to Hyrule Castle for an entire day once. The guards couldn't wake him. It took a particularly vocal cuckoo, apparently. Oh, jeez. Well, there you go. I am the real reason why the ranch has such renown. Me, The hard-working Ingo. Link, that's not true at all. I know, but how do I stop this? It's simple, isn't it? The girl killed Talon to get full ownership and leave the dingy ranch life behind. Do you really think Malin would go that far? I don't want to think it, but clearly the events speak for themselves, don't they? Why wouldn't she just wait a few more years then? Talon was getting older. Perhaps she knew more and more work would be piling up onto her. But really, how am I supposed to know? Ask her. That's all right. Well, if Malin didn't want to work, wouldn't she have done this earlier? As Talon's only child, she'd still inherit the ranch. That's where you're wrong. For a long while, Talon planned to split the ranch between the girl and the crown. He was a patriotic man. He knew how much those horses meant to the royal guard. I wish he hadn't changed his mind now. Is this true? Yes, Father's previous inheritance document did work that way. How admirable. I guess familial bonds won over his drive to help the kingdom. Truly a shame. Yeah, naturally the girl wanted the whole thing, so she bided her time. I think this sufficiently explains the timing. Let's continue, shall we? Wait just a moment. There's one more problem with the timing that I'd like the witness to explain. Why would Malin have planned the murder for the day of the royal visitation specifically? More people around means more witnesses. You'd think she would have chosen any other day. Oh, did I forget to mention this? I overheard Talon arguing with her that very morning. He was telling her he'd changed his mind again. He was planning to tell the king that he'd be signing the ranch over to the crown. After the visitation was over, he'd head to Castletown to change the inheritance back to the original split. What? Despite the victim's wishy-washiness, it would appear that he did make the right choice in the end. And because of that choice, if the defendant wanted to get the ranch, she had no time to waste that day. Is this true too? Absolutely not. Father wasn't planning to do that, and there was no argument either. What to do about this argument then? Add it to the testimony. Better not bring it to the... Add it to the testimony. There was an argument about the inheritance. That sounds like an important fact to me. Defense requests to be added to the testimony. Very well. Witness, please do so. I'd be happy to, Your Honor. I overheard them arguing about the inheritance in the morning. Okay, well, I want to check my court record again. I want to look at the picture, too. List of equipment on the ranch. I want to check this again, too. So there's 4 rakes, 4 garden hose, 8 baskets, 2 hammers, 6 knives, 1 wood saw, 8 saddles, 28 horseshoes, 3 axes, 2 brooms. None of the other stuff I can see the numbers for. Oh, yeah. He bought the perfume that morning. He left to go buy the perfume that morning. Because the visitation changed. So this might actually be a viable objection, right? How could they have had an argument if Talon had left to go to Castletown to change, to get a gift for the princess? It's definitely a possibility. All right, let's press him. About what time did this happen? First thing in the morning. I was heading out to the silo to start the day's work. I had just walked out to the front door of the ranch house when I heard some yelling erupt behind me. Do you remember any specifics about what was said? Oh, yes. It surprised me enough that I stopped to listen for a minute. It was all like, I'm really sorry, Malin, but the most important thing is to make sure the king will always have a steady supply of quality horses. I don't care. What about me, Father? How can you do this to me? Malin, this isn't just about you. It's for the good of the entire kingdom.
But what am I supposed to do? I can't move up in life if I'm stuck on this dump of a ranch forever.
I thought you loved the ranch, all the animals here, and Ingo's always around to help with all the chores. He's all the chores too. He's pretty great, isn't he?
Yeah, Ingo was awesome, but I still hate you for this. This isn't over.
What a stirring reenactment. I will keep my thoughts on the witness's acting skills to myself. There's no way this actually happened, though. Malin would never want to sell the ranch. Well, of course she'd say that now, you buffoon. Remember, she's under suspicion for murder. We can't trust a thing she says. Well, I trust her, but the judge probably doesn't right now, and that's unfortunately what matters. Do I have anything in the court record that could refute this story? If you ask me, this whole inheritance issue could have been avoided if the crown wasn't so soft. In Gerudo Desert, there would be no question that the fortress may seize whatever it desires. That's just messed up. No matter. Continue your testimony, farmhand. Share with us the true nature of the defendant. It's appalling how ungrateful she is, after all Talon did for her. No, you hold it! That man gave everything for her. She's gotten so many expensive presents over the years. Just look at that golden necklace she's wearing. That man spoiled her rotten. In fact, I think I saw another present he was meaning to give her on the very day he was killed. Another gift. Why, yes, a little bottle of perfume, I believe. It's horrible. Talon was such a kind man. What happened to him is despicable. Wait a minute. Brain moment. Talon doesn't realize that the perfume was for the princess because Talon didn't know that the royal family was coming that day, is my presumption. And if Talon didn't know that the royal family was coming that day, that's the only reason he'd be stupid enough to have committed the murder that day. How do I tie it in? How do I tie it all together, though? Is that last statement important? Yeah, add it to the testimony. Your Honor, the defense wishes to add the statement about the perfume to the testimony. Bah! What are you doing? Trying to implicate the defendant even harder? I think it's an important detail. The perfume is irrelevant, but I suppose the prosecution has no objections to strengthening our case. Very well, witness. Please add what you just said to the testimony. Talon often bought Malin gifts. I saw the latest one. Some kind of perfume, I think. Let's press it before we object. Where did you see this? I think it was just lying around the ranch house. Talon probably intended to give it to Malin the day he was killed. Do you mean this, witness? Why, yes, that's exactly it. Looks very expensive. If only Talon had spent as much on his salary for the hard-working Ingo. I get up and leave to do work at the break of dawn every day, you know? What's your relationship with this guy anyway? Well, he's been employed and living with us on the ranch for as long as I can remember, really. You know, I don't think he's ever skipped a day of work thinking about it. Not a single one? Talk about dedication. But even so, something is very much off here. I don't know where to present it. Also, is his alibi a piece of evidence? Try presenting the attorney badge. That always helps. All right, I'm going to present the perfume. Witness. What is it? Just to confirm, you say that this bottle of perfume was bought for Malin by her father, correct? What else would it be for? I assure you, Talon wasn't the type to indulge in perfumes. Far from it. Well, you're wrong, witness. Oh, is that so? Was the ranch owner truly a perfume connoisseur? No, Your Honor. This bottle of perfume was bought for the princess. So what? Sure, it's technically a contradiction, but what is the purpose of this bottle change? Yes, defense, I admit, I'm confused as well. Please explain why this point is important. Earlier in the trial, Malin mentioned that Talon bought this perfume in preparation last minute. Isn't that right, Malin? It sure is. We had a gift for the king prepared when the news arrived that it would actually be the princess making this visitation. Father quickly rode out into town to get a new gift. This info puts one thing into question. Talon's taste in gifts, somebody's movements, the princess's testimony, somebody's movements. Someone's movements around the ranch are put into serious doubt. Someone's? Well, don't keep us waiting then, defense. Who is the person? Naturally, the person whose movements become suspect is... Shit, I'm actually confused now. Because Talon wasn't around the ranch to argue with Malin, so I think it's Talon. I'm going to say Talon. I'm a little nervous. I'm going to say Talon. The owner of the ranch, Talon. The victim? How so, defense? If the victim went out to buy the perfume bottle, he should have not been there to get killed? What? Defense, are you really proposing the victim hasn't actually died? Well, of course. Why, perhaps we should send out a rescue party. He may still be stuck in the labyrinth that is the local perfume store. Meanwhile, the defense can try to get out of the labyrinth that is their own convoluted mind. Sorry. But even so, the fact that the perfume bottle was bought at the last minute still causes a big problem. It puts one thing into question. Oh, wait, no, because Talon said he saw it. Talon had to have been in there. Yeah, okay, I see it. I see it now, chat. I see it now, chat. I see it now, guys. Everybody makes mistakes. Putting unique fail dialogue was nice for that. That was really good, yeah. I just wanted to show you guys the unique fail dialogue. Yeah. The witness himself. If you recall, this bottle of perfume, which had just been purchased, was found at the crime scene. A crime scene the witness supposedly never went to. He shouldn't have known about the bottle. Ah! Order! Order! The defense raises a very valid point. You simpleton, what is the meaning of this? Well, witness, did you go to the scene of the crime at any point? No, of course I didn't. I was in the ranch all day. I remember I saw the gift the day before the crime. The girl is lying. Talon must have gotten the gift the day before. You're the one who's lying. Father didn't leave the ranch at all that day. One's word against another's. Defense? Do you have any way to prove your version of the events is true? Ask the store, find the receipt, smell the perfume? Yeah, I guess we could ask the store. It feels like a reasonable... All right, for no particular reason, I'm going to go ahead and press the save state button, just for no particular reason. Smelling the perfume doesn't feel like it does the job. I think asking the store is the most, or finding the receipt. I feel like one of those is the most reasonable one of these. Either of them would work. But smelling the perfume might be fun. Ooh. Alright, I'm gonna say find the receipt. When you buy something, you usually get a receipt, and the receipts always show the date of purchase. It might still be at the ranch house. I say we send someone out to look for it. Father never throws receipts away. We have a drawer full of them. The perfume one should be right on top. I believe the idea has some merit. Soldiers, rush out to the ranch house immediately and search for that receipt. Your Honor. Yes? What is it, soldier? We have just received the receipt from the team stationed at the crime scene. I'm so nervous. Very well. Thank you. I shall now read it out. There's a lot of writing on this. Ahem. From Tingle's Mysterious Smells. Ah, yes, I think I've seen that store. It's that eccentric-looking place in the back alley. You couldn't miss the blinding neon colors if you tried. It's an utter eyesore. The gall of this. Nobody running a monopoly on Hylian perfume is preposterous. Perhaps, but back to the matter at hand. The nerve of that dunderhead. Why would anyone ever shop at a store where the owner calls every other customer a fairy? Prosecutor. And the balloons. Oh, the balloons. That fool popped one right in my face. Prosecutor Dragmire. Enough. Continuing on. Purchased item. 1 bottle of Rosy Rupee Land. Good reference. Oh my, this is quite the price. Why, I would have to... Your Honor, please. The date of the purchase? Ah, yes, right. Date of the purchase. Why, it's March 16th. The day of the murder. Gah! Order. Yeah, we got him. Phew, I think we're finally getting somewhere. Bah, this still doesn't mean anything. Perhaps the witness briefly went back to the ranch house for something and saw the bottle then. Yeah, that's it. I was getting thirsty, so I went back to get a drink. I must have seen the bottle then. Oh, come on. You think we're going to believe that? Do you have any proof that he didn't? Well, I believe this calls for further testimony. As the witness now claims to have visited the crime scene shortly before the murder, we should learn of his exact movements that day. My movements? Well, all right. There's not a whole lot to say, though. It's unfortunate that he managed to weasel out of that. But this next testimony will be full of lies. I can feel it. My non-suspicious movements. Yeah. As was already stated, I had volunteered to work in the silo. At one point, I briefly went back to the ranch house to get myself a glass of water. I went back to the silo right after that and stayed there until the courier came. I haven't been back to the ranch house at all since then. At some point, the detective came and told me what happened. And wow, was that detective one fine woman. See, I haven't done anything to warrant suspicion. Eat my shoes, you darn brat. I'll pass. There has to be something wrong in there. You can't put a flawless story together that quickly. My non-suspicious movements. Okay. What were you doing? Working on shipments and fulfilling orders. We sent out crates of milk to milk bars all across the kingdom every day, you know. Milk bars? Naturally. Everyone loves a good drink, you know. And our milk is renowned as the best there is. I hear some others water theirs down. Despicable. I see. I think you said earlier that the job is to work on the structures. I think you said earlier that your job is to work on structures and equipment, though. Indeed, Talon and the girl usually be the ones overseeing milk orders. However, since the royal visitation was happening that day, I felt they needed their minds unoccupied, so I took it upon myself to do it this time. After the murder, I got scared that the Sheikah Force's investigation would delay the shipments, and that I, the Great Ingo, would get the blame. Thankfully, it all went through fine. Yeah, and you were so concerned with setting it off quickly that you wrote the wrong delivery address on it. Bah! You Hylians. Ridiculous. Getting tipsy from something like milk? Bet you couldn't even handle a sip of the Gerudo's noble pursuit. A real man's drink. A real man's drink? Aren't most of the Gerudos women? Speaking of drinks, I believe the witness was talking about how he had gotten himself a glass of water. Yes, of course. Moving all that heavy stuff around works up a sweat, you see. I got very thirsty, and at one point, I briefly went to the ranch house to get myself a glass of water. You didn't think to just take a sip of the milk you were handling? No. It wouldn't be right. That milk was for the customers, you see. I just didn't want to get into any trouble. A truly honest man. How dare you suggest he would steal from his own workplace? Right. So what did you see at the house? Nothing much. I got my drink and left. Still had a lot of work to do, you see. I suppose I must have seen the perfume bottle then. In fact, yes, I remember it clearly now. It was there on the table, plain as day. Boo-ha-ha. Great. What happened after that, witness? I went back to the silo right after that and stayed there until the courier came. And you were able to complete this so quickly on your own? Bah, you don't know the might of the great Ingo. Yeah, pow, wham! I get things done in no time. I did almost break my back getting those crates out of the silo, though. There were so many, and all so heavy, it was like a puzzle in there. Anyway, that's not important. The point is, I haven't been back to the ranch house at all since then. Are you sure? Sure as can be. You never went back in, even after the crime was discovered. Bah! They wouldn't let me in. Preserving the crime scene or such. I couldn't even get any of my things. After I was questioned, no one gave me half a glance. I had to sleep in the stables that night. Is what he just said important? Yes. Your Honor, I would like the witness to add his last statement to the testimony. What are you trying to pull now, kid? Very well. Witness, please amend your statement. Fine, whatever. I didn't even get to sleep or access any of my belongings. I had to spend the night in the stable. Then how are you wearing a different outfit? Couldn't you have stayed at an inn? Bah, what am I, made of money? Think, boy, I'm just a simple ranch worker, you know? Pfft, you lawyers, always flaunting your wealth. Right, sorry. Not actually sorry. I doubt one night would bankrupt this guy. Just look at what he's wearing. At some point, the detective came and told me what happened. And wow, that detective was one fine woman. All right, I need to hear more about this. Could you elaborate? She's a hard-working woman who gets to the point and takes what she wants. Not to mention her impeccable fashion sense. What's not to love? That's not the part I wanted him to elaborate on. Wow, he seems totally smitten with her. Sure does. I wonder how Impa feels about it. Perhaps when this chore of a trial is over, I could... But no, he'll have to wait. You thought you could distract me, did you? Ah, the genius ranch worker Ingo see through your schemes. He's sticking to that story, huh? Yeah, it was a desperate fix, but it holds up surprisingly well. I can hardly believe this is the same Mr. Ingo I know. He's usually so nice. It's time to press for more details. He's sure to slip up somewhere. There has to be a piece of evidence or a profile waiting to disprove what he's saying. All right, I think we're ready. Witness, there's something seriously wrong with your testimony. What? What are you talking about? You say you couldn't get any of your belongings because they were all at the ranch house, correct? A ranch house you were not allowed to go in. That's right? Well, that would imply you should still be wearing your work clothes. Pardon me if I'm wrong, but those don't look like work clothes at all. Ah! The defense has a point. The witness appears to be pretty well dressed for court. I can't imagine he would want to sully those clothes during work. Well, what do you have to say to that? Of course. I can explain. It's simple. These are brand new. Yeah, on my way to the courthouse, I went shopping for a nice new outfit. After all, I couldn't very well show up to court dressed like a bum. Yes, defense. Certain people have a modicum of respect for the court and show up dressed appropriately. What's that supposed to mean? This is my finest Zora suit. So you claim you bought these clothes after the crime? Is that correct? Very much so. This morning, in fact. Why do I need to repeat myself? Do I accept that explanation? Hell no! You buying those clothes today is simply impossible. What? Oh, how can you claim so? Defense, as you know, evidence is everything in court. Either prove that the witness couldn't have bought those clothes today, or get out. He's wearing it in this picture. Oh my God. He's wearing it in the old picture. You lying ass! I'd like to turn the court's attention to this. Why, this is one lovely pictograph. Oh, it reminds me of the idyllic days I spent with my grandson Fish. What about this pictograph, defense? Well, just look at what Ingo is wearing. This photo is from Malin's childhood, but Ingo is very clearly wearing the same outfit he has on right now. He couldn't have bought it today! Bang, bang, bang. Order. I will have order. Why, the defense is absolutely correct. I hope the witness has a good explanation for this. There. I think we finally got him. There's no way he can weasel out this time. Oh. Unless someone weasels out for him. Isn't it obvious? Naturally, the witness knew he would need to wear his clothes for the royal visitation that was scheduled for that day. He brought them to the silo in advance so that he could quickly change just before the royal visitation's arrival. Yeah, that's what it was. I needed to be presentable after all. Can't go looking like a bum in front of the most important people in the kingdom. Wait a minute. This is insane. What kind of a kangaroo court is this? The prosecution keeps making up excuses on the spot. Ingo was clearly lying about buying the clothes before the trial. He's definitely trying to hide something. Your Honor, surely you won't accept this blatant perjury. Accept it, Judge. There can be no other explanation. The prosecution's explanation does seem plausible. What? However, the fact that the witness didn't simply say it himself and instead made up a lie about buying the clothes is indeed very suspicious. Defense? The prosecution has posed that there is no other possible explanation for this contradiction. What is your opinion on the matter? Can the defense think of an alternative version of events? This is big. I really need to think this through. Ingo is acting really suspicious right now. He's desperately trying to patch up holes in his testimony to conceal his real movements. Why would he be doing that? Oh my God, this is so funny. Because he's the murderer. If it's not Malin, Ingo's the only other person who could have done this. I have to assume he did it if I want to think Malin is innocent. With that in mind, why would Ingo change out of his work clothes? What happened to make it necessary? Talon's blood got on them. When Ingo killed Talon, his clothes must have gotten blood on them. He had to change into something else to hide his involvement. But then, wouldn't the Sheikah force have found the clothes in the house? How could they have disappeared? They were thrown in a fire. This is awesome. This is a bit in AA 5 and 6. Yeah, this is unfamiliar to me from like the games that I've played because I haven't played those ones. This is a great bit. I like this. Oh, the building of the case. Oh, that's amazing. That's it. This explains everything. Oh my God. I love this. I love this so much. I believe I can offer an alternative explanation. Nonsense. Judge, the defense spent far too long sitting in silence just now. I call for a quick ruling. And not only can I explain it, but in fact, the defense formally accuses the witness of the murder! No! It's simple. The reason he had to swap his outfit and why he's been lying about the circumstances ever since is because it got stained with the victim's blood. Preposterous. If there were any discarded bloody clothes nearby, the Sheikah force would have found them, and we would have been trying someone else for murder right now. Why, you're absolutely correct, prosecutor. Huh? Naturally, Ingo couldn't have left his bloody clothes lying around, and so he used this to dispose of them. I guess I do the oil bottle? Your Honor, cast your mind to the princess's last testimony. The princess? Oh, the mysterious fire. Surely you jest. You yourself made sure we all knew how meaningless her testimony was. And yet, with this new context in mind, it gains a completely new meaning. An empty bottle of lamp oil, found by a burned out fire. Ingo used the lamp oil to quickly burn away his stained work clothes. Well, how about it, witness? My scenario explains everything. You killed Talon and then tried to hide it. This is... No! Hold on! What drivel are you spouting here, boy? Me? Kill Talon? You already know that's impossible. Too busy for murder. Everything you said is wrong. I have no idea what you're on about. I have an alibi for the time of the crime. I just couldn't have done it. There's no way I could have completed those milk shipments, killed Talon, and tried to hide my involvement. The fire was just made for a quick breakfast. There's no mystery there. Stop trying to pin this on poor innocent Ingo. Now, I shouldn't have to remind you, defense, but you yourself were surprised that Ingo was able to complete the shipment in time. Adding even more things for him to do in that time is preposterous. That's right. The great Ingo was efficient at his job, but not that efficient. No, it had to have been him. I'm sure of it. There must be some trick at play here. Some kind of shortcut. I must find it. Cross-examination. Too busy for murder. Yeah, right. Everything you said is wrong. I have no idea what you're on about. I have an alibi for the time of the crime. I just couldn't have done it. All right, I'm gonna press everything. Surely my scenario is more plausible at this point than these panicked attempts to fix your story. What's more plausible isn't for you to decide, defense. It's the judge that makes that call. And as long as this alibi stands, I can't imagine him siding with you. Yes, all of the loose ends have to be tied up before a decision can be made. Witness, please continue. I have an alibi for the time of the crime. I just couldn't have done it. Could you explain what that alibi is again? With pleasure. At the time of the crime, I was busy preparing that day's shipments of milk. That's hard work. I barely had enough time to get them done before the courier came to take them. The shipments were inspected by the Sheikah force as they were leaving the ranch. And as our resident detective told us, they were found to be fully loaded up with bottles of milk. That's right. The Sheikah force itself has vouched for me. There's no way I could be the culprit. Oh, I disagree. There has to be a way. There must be. And there's no way I could have completed those milk shipments, killed Talon, and tried to hide my involvement. Would it really have taken that long to murder someone and burn some clothes? It would have taken long enough to definitely make the scheme infeasible. Completing these shipments is a rather involved process. You have to milk the cows, clean the bottles, pour the milk into them, put them into crates, and load them onto a wagon. I love working with the cows, but that part takes the longest because you only get a little at a time. So as Mr. Ingo said, the whole thing really does take a while. Father and I usually have to get it work together to get it done in time for the courier's arrival. There you go, defense. Your own client knows this is the unshakable truth. Okay, so there's no way you could complete the shipments and also do the killing. In that case, there had to be some way for him to finish the work faster. I just have to find it. We already know what it is. There was a fire. The fire was made for a quick breakfast. There's no mystery to that. So you had enough time for breakfast, but not enough time to kill someone? Yes, of course. The breakfast was cooking while I kept working. Then I just quickly gobbled it up. There's no issue there. In fact, yes, I remember it even burned a bit because it wasn't completely paying attention to it. That's why I had to get that glass of water too, you see? Had to wash it down after. What a convenient little explanation. But for all I know, he actually did cook up a breakfast on a fire of burning blood-soaked clothes. Ew. Continue, witness. We don't want to hear about your culinary adventure. Of course. My point is just what I've been telling you about this whole time. Stop trying to pin this on poor innocent Ingo. The only people who could have done this were you and Malin. And I know Malin well enough to know she couldn't have been the culprit. That leaves you as the perpetrator. Yes, by now we all know how much you value your friend. Let me remind you, though, that feelings don't matter at all here. Either show us solid evidence that puts Ingo's alibi in question, or concede defeat. Is there any way he could have done the work faster? I'm not sure. It would be nice if there was, though. I could sleep a little bit longer every day. Yeah, you'd think he would have shared it with you if he knew of one. Just what shortcut did you use, Ingo? All right. All right, here we go. This tasteless milk. Are we ready, chat? But did you, though? Did you really complete those shipments properly? Defense, I shouldn't have to remind you that the Sheikah Force checked the boxes thoroughly. They were definitely full of milk bottles. Oh, I'm sure it looked that way. What are you getting at, Defense? Here you go, Your Honor. Milk? For me? Are you trying to bribe the judge now? I didn't think you'd stoop so low. The Crown will be informed of this. Oh, it's nothing like that. All I'm asking is that His Honor try tasting the milk. Just one little sip. This is highly irregular. But to be honest, I could use a drink. All this talking does make one's throat dry, you know. Amen. You've probably talked the least out of everyone here, though. Since the defense insists, I'll take a sip. Is this what passes for milk these days? This almost tastes like water. Oh, water? I have to agree. This is definitely not standard milk. As we've heard from the princess and the detective, Lon Lon Ranch is renowned for the quality of its products. But there's no way people would say that about milk this lousy. Bah, whatever. As if the unwashed masses would know the difference between quality and garbage. Where are you going with this, Defense? It's simple. You see, I received this bottle from Detective Impa, still unopened during the first recess. As we know, there were no milk shipments today, so this must have come from one of Ingo's shipments from yesterday. Ugh! It's true that Ingo could never have murdered Talon and also completed those shipments on his own. Unless he cheated. Ingo watered the milk down to get the shipments done in time. Order! Order! Yes, I suppose that would work. Indeed. All he had to do is milk fewer of the cows to save enough time without ruining the taste too much. I'd guess he used about a 50-50 split of water and milk. This is... No! Talon! Let me stop you right there. I will concede that something odd happened to that shipment. But all you have proven is that Ingo is a slacker. How dare you? Be quiet, you mongrel. Sure, Ingo watered down the milk. That doesn't make him a killer, though, does it? Well, no. But now we do know that he definitely could have done it. We know that he did go to the crime scene, and we know he did have the time and the opportunity to kill Talon as well. Yet, there is a vital element missing still. Let me put it in simple terms so even an idiot like you can understand. Oh, shit! This is new to me. You lack the murder weapon. If Ingo was the murderer, then it couldn't have been the saw. Hold it. And why is that? It's simple. If the girl's story about working on the fence is true, then she was using the saw while her father was being murdered. It couldn't have been in two places at the same time. Do I agree with this? That's her story? I don't remember that. Okay. Deep irregular wound made with a sharp metal object. But the ranch inventory, there's like 100 there's scythes, there's flails, there's axes, knives, everything. There's like 1 billion murder weapons possible. Okay, if the girl's story about working on the fence is true, she was using the saw while her father was being murdered. It couldn't have been in two places at the same time. I do agree with this. I believe we're in complete agreement on this point. You do realize the problem that creates for you, right? I'm sure it can all be explained. Ha, as if. But very well. Then let's move on to why nothing else could have been the murder weapon either. Where would this supposed other murder weapon have even come from? There's 8 wood saws? No, there's 1. Wood saws, 1 piece. There's 8 saddles. Don't gaslamp me. Couldn't he have used any old thing? Either answer the question, defense, or this discussion is over. No need to overthink this. Anywhere Ingo could have gotten a weapon from will do. We'll worry about the exact details later. Where would this supposed other murder weapon have even come from? This music bangs, dude. I can try the ranch inventory. I'm gonna try the ranch inventory. Have you forgotten this murder happened on a ranch? There are plenty of sharp things on site. Ho ho! That's simply impossible. We checked all sharp objects on the ranch and searched everyone. No fresh blood was found anywhere else. But the fire! You could have burned it! Couldn't Ingo have just hidden it, disposed of it, wiped it off? Yeah, I guess wiped it off. He burned the clothes. He could have burned a cloth. Couldn't Ingo have just wiped it off? Blood leaves traces. It's not that easy to get rid of. People like us aren't so sensitive, but other beings like Zora's can easily tell by smell. Naturally, the Sheikah Force employs people for just that task. Also, the Lon Lon Ranch focuses on selling horses and milk. The animals there aren't regularly butchered, so there's no good reason why any of the tools would have fresh blood on them. Any such implement would have stood out like a sore thumb. Well, I guess this is a good point. I may have to rethink this. Couldn't Ingo have just disposed of it? Hidden it? Because I feel like they said that the ranch equipment was all found. I'm gonna try disposed of it, I think. Couldn't Ingo have disposed of it in some way? Ha, that's impossible. You see. No items from the ranch's inventory list were missing, and that list is indisputable. How can you be so sure the inventory list is accurate? Bah! Use your head! There was a royal visitation scheduled for that day. The ranch owner needed everything to be in order. He would have double, even triple checked that list when he wrote it. I suppose he would have, but... No items from the ranch's inventory list were missing, and that is indisputable. What if... I mean, what if the saw was... Why would it be clean of blood? I don't know what to present here. No items from the ranch's inventory list were missing, and that list is indisputable. It could have been a personal item, I guess. It could have been a personal item. But I don't have anything. It could have just been the saw, but clean of blood is real sussy. I'm losing a heart here. Don't listen to a judge. That evidence has nothing to do with what's being discussed. Oh, don't worry. I knew that. Attorneys always seem to ask what I think when they have no idea what they're talking about. Drat. Why is it indisputable? Oh, wait. It's very disputable. Ingo's name is on it. I'm stupid. Ingo's name is at the top of it. The inventory list itself is false. Oh, fascinating. What exactly makes you question the veracity of this document? That would be something about the inventory itself. It's simple. You only need a brief look at the inventory to see it can't be trusted. Oh, ho, ho! You can't just go around making such general statements, Defense. Point out what exactly about the inventory makes it suspect. Take that! Just look here. The one who compiled this list was Ingo himself. He could have easily falsified the counts as part of his plan. That doesn't matter. Nothing could have left the ranch. Wouldn't Ingo have been able to just throw the item out over the fence? Bah. Obviously, we searched the perimeter of the ranch as well. Nothing was found anywhere. This is the most important point. Has nothing really been able to leave? The milk shipments left? Are you really sure nothing left the ranch? What about a few little shipments of milk? Preposterous. Have you forgotten that said shipments have been checked by the Sheikah force before they were allowed to leave? That's true, but there was a piece of... There was a place the Sheikah could have overlooked. What in Din's name are you blabbering about? We're talking about bog standard crates here, boy. Not exactly vast dungeons full of nooks and crannies to stuff things into, are they? Where could they have missed a murder weapon? It's simple. They overlooked the contents of the crates, the contents of the bottles, the crates themselves. I feel like the contents of the bottles make sense. The crates themselves seems crazy. The crates themselves seems crazy. There's one place inside the crates the Sheikah couldn't have checked without ruining the shipments. That's right. Ingo put the murder weapon inside one of the bottles to conceal it from the search. That does seem plausible. Now wait just a moment. A weapon in a milk bottle wouldn't just go unnoticed. Someone would have reported it. How can you be so sure? Do you even know how much milk an average milk bar uses each day? All those shipments have most certainly been completely used up by now. Someone drinking from that bottle would have found it for sure, choked on it even, if they took too large a swig. It would be a huge scandal. Well, he's right about that, but he's missing some vital information. Oh, yeah, I like that noise. You would be correct that a weapon showing up in someone's milkshake would cause quite a stir. If the milk ever actually made it to any milk bar, that is. You see, I overheard a very interesting tale during the recess. Word was sent from the ranch not long ago that one of the shipments was returned unopened due to being misaddressed. What? No! Indeed. If you recall, Ingo was the one who handled all of that. Now that's strange. The ranch supplies the same milk bars every day. Even if he had messed up the street address a little, the couriers would know where the shipment was meant to go. How could he have bungled it that badly? It's almost as if he didn't want anyone receiving a bottle of milk with a murder weapon in it. I bet Ingo expected this box to stay in shipping limbo a little while longer. How unfortunate for him that the postal service was on its game today. Maybe because they were worried it'd start to smell. I believe this calls for us to investigate these boxes of milk more closely. Soldiers, have these boxes retrieved from the ranch immediately. Argument completed. Yo, I got all my health back. Dude, that was so cool. I gotta play more Ace Attorney games. I didn't know they implemented this like argument system and this building a theory system. They're so cool. This is slander. Why would I kill Talon? This looks sick. It's so good, dude. I am in love with. I'm loving every second of this. This might be the best thing I've ever played. Thanks for that, Prime Shonen. Money Man, thank you very much for the sub as well. Kuro, that's no dancing in my courtroom. Okay, no dancing in my courtroom. Sure, he's a bit of a layabout, but he did give me a job. Why would I want him dead? The motive? That's simple. Why? I'm surprised you're even asking about it. The evidence easily explains your motive, idiot. Divided between the crown and remaining employees. The very inheritance document you brought to the court's attention states the following. In case of the testator's death, his daughter, Malin of Lon Lon Ranch, will inherit the ranch, unless she is unable to oversee it, in which case it shall be divided between the crown and the remaining employees. Ah! What? You not only killed Talon, but decided to frame Malin for the crime as well, so you would be the one to inherit part of the ranch. That's why you volunteered to work in the silo that day. It gave you an alibi so that Malin would be the only possible culprit. Of course you knew about the royal visitation in advance. You knew Malin would go back to the ranch house to prepare before they arrived. A perfect setup for the royals to find her next to the body. No, no, no! What are you talking about? Talon signing the ranch over to me? Preposterous. Did he really not know? I guess it was Dragmeyer who procured the actual document, not him. Your Honor. What is it, soldier? The box you requested is here. Already? That was quite fast. Apparently, the team at the ranch had already noticed something awry with it on their own. The box arrived just as we were about to rush out a courier to deliver our message. Well, well, well. Let's see for ourselves then, shall we? The part of the shipment that proves my case is... It's that little red bloody that little red bloody part right there, I think. Here it is, from the bottle with a slight red tint to the milk. Looks like some kind of serrated knife. That explains the irregular wound pretty nicely. How could those Sheikah idiots have missed this? I'm sure the milk was pure white when they first checked it. It took a whole day for the blood to dissolve in it. Either way, no matter how you slice it, this proves my theory right. Oh, I've had it. Fine. You want to know why? You want to know why I really killed that scumbag? No. No, what are you... So, you admit it? Yes. Yeah, I admit it. What would you do if one day, after years of back-breaking labor, despite putting all into the ranch, you were thrown away like rubbish without any reason, fired? Farewell, we don't need you anymore. What? But that doesn't make any sense. Huh, don't lie, I heard it all. I was just returning back from another day of spine-wrenching work. And lo and behold, what's this? Malin and Talon are talking behind my back. I heard it all. We'll let him go after the visitation. We can handle things without him. And so, after volunteering to work that shipment, I quietly slipped out while the girl was busy and shanked the good-for-nothing slacker. Ha! You should have seen his face. He didn't expect it at all. So yes, Malin, I killed the lazy bum you call a father, and he deserved it. Order, the witness will cease boasting over such a terrible deed. I think we've heard enough. Soldiers! Take him away! Hold it! Wait just a moment.
I choose you!
Your Honor, we got a 17-month resub, Your Honor. Wait just a moment. Thank you. Ingo? Yes, girl. Want to apologize for what you've done. Apologize? Me? You're horrible. We weren't planning to fire you at all. You completely misunderstood what we were saying. What? We've had so much work recently. Well, You know how it goes with the royal visits. Always a busy time. Gotta make sure everything's in tip-top shape. I do worry some about old Ingo, though. He's been complaining about his back recently. Do wish he'd take a step back and relax sometime. Maybe we should convince him to take a vacation. Now there's an idea. It'd do him good to just get out for a while. I'll discuss it with him after the visitation. After things calm down, we can handle everything without him. Damn. That's... You were playing... What? A vacation for me? And I did... No! No, it can't be! Please say it isn't so! Still not as ridiculous as a standard Phoenix Wright game. As a standard Ace Attorney. I love the giant chicken at the end. Oh my god. Every minute you stream this, you take 1 minute off of Mr. Miyamoto's life. I hope you're happy. Dude, I bet, no joke, I bet they'd be stoked to see this, honestly. We have witnessed today the results of a truly horrifying misunderstanding. But misunderstanding or not, what you have done is unforgivable. Talon was a kind man, beloved by all who had the good fortune to cross his path. His loss will be felt not only at his ranch, but all across Hyrule. The killer turned out to be an utterly pathetic man with delusions of grandeur. I mean, look at him. An utter idiot, dressed like a clown. Jeez, he's really laying into him. I bet he's just upset because he lost. The prosecution's rant aside, I think it's time to declare today's verdict. I think so too, Judge. This is just a formality, but will the defendant please step up to the stand? Young miss, I am very sorry for the situation you have found yourself in. I am very glad you appear to have such a good attorney as a friend. I wouldn't have chosen anyone else. Aw, thanks. Now then, without further ado, in the name of the goddess Hylia and the sacred land of Hyrule, I hereby find Malin of Lon Lon Ranch not guilty! Yippee! I love the smug look on Link's face. Court is adjourned! Yeah, sucks that her dad's dead, though. We did it! I suppose so. I guess Ingo's outburst kind of soured the mood, huh? I don't think I can ever forgive Mr. Ingo for what he's done. That's fair enough, honestly. Really, though, you shouldn't think about that for now. You're free. It's time to celebrate. I guess you're right. Excellent work. I knew you'd pull through. Oh, thanks. I couldn't have done it without you, really. So, thank you? Now, that's not quite right. If you want to thank someone, I'm not the one who deserves it the most. Huh? Your Highness? I thought you were going back to Hyrule Castle. What strings did Impa have to pull to get her here? But I realized I should apologize for what I did personally. It's an honor. Oh, there's no need to bow, not after what I've done. Really, if not for my status, I would have probably been carted off to prison along with that angry little man. Perjury's, pretty serious, so that's not entirely wrong. As usual, you don't give yourself enough credit, Your Highness. How can you say that, Detective? I almost condemned an innocent person to prison. Yes, there are some things you should think twice about doing in the future. But it's all thanks to you that the young lady over here finally went free. Huh? Come on, attorney. Show Her Highness what I'm talking about. The bottle? Well, it's true. Without this, and without knowing about the fire, we wouldn't have had any proof to substantiate our claims. And really, your obviously false testimonies helped us a lot. Ouch! Impa just stepped on my foot. Well, there you have it. In any case, I'm sure Miss Malin isn't too upset. Well, sure. 10 hut! We have orders to escort the princess back to the castle immediately. Ah, just in time. Farewell, Your Highness. And so they left. Now then, listen to me. I know that perhaps I am being too lenient on the princess, but tough times are ahead. The princess will need all the confidence she can get to lead the kingdom through them. She needs to learn to take responsibility for her actions too, though. And she will. Huh? Her Highness is in for a rather unpleasant afternoon today, I imagine. The urgency with which she has just been escorted out of here isn't coincidental. What? Is the king going to scold her? At the very least. Now then. My duties call, unfortunately, so I must be off. Again, you did well today. Both of you. I trust that I will be able to rely on you in the future court proceedings as well. I'll try my best. That's all I ask. That unpleasant prosecutor seems to be making his way over here, so I'll be excusing myself post-haste. Farewell. Uh-oh. You! Hello. Nice day we're having, isn't it? Tell me, now, where did that blasted detective go? To have my reputation tarnished this way by some novice attorney who from the boonies. Dramatic much? He looks about ready to burst from anger. Don't be such a sore loser. You lost. Deal with it. Yeah, we got the right verdict. Doesn't that make you even a little bit glad? Yes. I suppose there is some worth in that. Huh? What transpired is most unfortunate. I can only offer my condolences. Just remember that it was the meddling of that idiotic princess and the stupidity of that blasted detective that led to your arrest. So if you have any grievances, take it up with them. I suppose there is some truth to what he's saying. Speaking of the detective, it appears she has fled from me like a cuckoo on fire. Mark my words. She will regret what she's done for generations. God, it's almost like he's devilishly evil. Well, that sure was something. I don't know if he was being sincere or just wanted to shift blame onto someone else. I wouldn't say he's entirely blameless. Never mind that. Do you think you'll be all right running the ranch by yourself? Of course I'll come visit, but I have my attorney duties too. I'll get in touch with the castle, see if they can spare some men to work at the ranch. Silly as my father may have seemed, he really did prepare me to take over one day, and he's taught me well. I'll make sure the animals are cared for, just as I always have. That's the spirit. I believe in you. I really want to thank you for bringing the truth to light. If it wasn't for you, I don't even want to think about what could have happened. Don't mention it. I'm just glad everything worked out in the end. And so ended a very personal case for me. It felt like a weight had been lifted off my back. Malin continued working at the ranch, hoping to make it prosper even beyond what her father was able to accomplish. I didn't really think much about it, but the days following were some of the happiest I'd lived for a long time. Little did I know that a terrible tragedy would soon shock the entire kingdom, and I'd find myself smack dab in the middle of it. But that's a legend for another day. Ah! Oh my god. This is entering my top 5 list of best ROM hacks of all time. Holy shit, dude. This is the coolest thing I've ever played. This is the best ROM hack I've ever played. This was amazing. Absolute peak. I got to sub to the dude who made this. Skawo is the lead. I've never heard of this dude before. Is it a single story or RNG for different scenarios? I don't think there's RNG for different scenarios. I think this is everything that's in this hack. But there is room, it sounds like, for a potential, like, they did set up that there's a crime that existed with the older Princess Zelda being killed and the younger Princess Zelda, you know, being the one who has to, like, take over. There's definitely some shit going on there. It seems like a lot of room was left to potentially make more of this should the creators want to. And considering that they have the, like, foundation built, like, they have the foundation fully built in terms of modifying Ocarina of Time into what this was, right? The courtroom scenes, all the models, positioning, dialogue system is all built. So theoretically, I don't think at all this devising of the story is an easy part, but it doesn't seem like, you know, I think about half the job is about done for them if they want to do more. I love these credit sequence too. He's pianoing, dude. He's pianoing. Tool programming, dang, that is a lot of people who worked on this. That is a lot of people who worked on this. You know, Ganon Death killed the older sister. Created using OOT NPC Maker. I've never heard of that. I like the cat hanging out. You know the king's gonna be the victim in the final case. Aww. Is it gonna be me? Yay! Yippee! God, man, that was perfect. That was literally perfect. Play, I know you guys just watched it, so maybe playing it doesn't make it, but tell people about this. Tell people about this. Spread the good word of Hero of Law. This is fantastic. Spread the good word. Oh my God. Unfortunately, I don't have a working N64 setup at the moment. Although I did have the pieces, the transfer pack, the cartridges, the controller. I don't know, I just couldn't get it to work. But we do have the ability to access the extra cases. Let's see. The game tell you about making this GBA save for this turnabout. This case contains spoilers for Link's Awakening. That's okay. Progress through this story will overwrite your current progress through the main story of Hero of Law. Continue? Yes. It works best if Link is a thief in your Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening save file. Please insert the thing. Accessing transfer pack. It can also be unlocked with a code because people complained about the transfer pack. I can see why, but it's cool. It's a pain in the ass, but it is cool. All right, June 6th, 2:17 a.m. Hyrule Grand Court, courtroom number 7. It's quiet. Whew. Made it on time, I guess. Still no clue why on earth they called me here at this ungodly hour. You? Yes, me. I don't like being woken up at 2 a.m. either, believe me. I really hope that old fool has a good explanation for this. Old fool? You mean the judge? Ah, I see you're both already here. Splendid. I hope this wasn't too much of an inconvenience for you. That remains yet to be seen. What could possibly be so important about this burglary case as to warrant this kind of urgency? Case? Case, we're doing a trial? You mean you haven't been told, defense? Oh dear, my apologies. I suppose I did order the soldiers to not tell anyone about what happened. They must have interpreted that a little bit too literally. I'm gonna turn the volume on the emulator down just a bit more. But that's fine. Secrecy is paramount here. Yes, having an entire entourage of Hylian soldiers arriving at the Gerudo's fortress in the middle of the night was the pinnacle of stealth. No one knows. It's a secret to everybody. Wait a moment. I can't just defend someone off the cuff like this. That'd be incredibly unfair to the defendant. Oh? Doubting your skills? As much as I'd like to agree with you, defense, we don't have a choice in the matter. This trial must happen this very moment. Well, get on with it then, old man. What's this about? Right, yes, of course. Let me start from the beginning. A few hours ago, I was finishing my daily ablutions when a great light appeared within my chambers. It was like nothing I'd ever seen before. The night literally became day before my very eyes. And that wasn't all. People started to come out of the light. I was shaken with fear. One of those people claimed to be the goddess herself, Hylia. What? I know, believe me. I was as flabbergasted as you are. The goddess proceeded to explain that in another world, one of her chosen heroes had been severely punished for committing some terrible deed. She decided that someone else should determine whether the punishment was just or not, to ensure her own biases would not affect the outcome. Our own world was chosen as the best candidate to make the judgment. Okay. This is a joke, right? There's no way that any of this is true. This is insane. Yes, it seems the judge has completely lost his marbles. Clearly, his age has finally caught up to him. I will be filing appropriate notices as soon as I can. At the very least, we can both get back to sleep quickly. That is true. Ho, ho, ho. I believe I know just the way to convince you two. Soldiers, please call in the defendant. The defendant? What the? Defense? Defense! What was that happening? We don't have time to watch you pass out. Get yourself together. Oh, right. That's what happened. Well, defense, are you convinced now? I guess I can't deny it, can I? That's definitely me. Younger, wilder, perhaps, but sure enough. I guess so. Excellent. In that case, let us formally begin. This court is now in session for the trial of thief of Colent Island. Your Honor, you can't just declare him a thief from the get-go. No, of course not. I have his name written down right here. It seems I am just unable to say it. Fascinating. A curse of sorts. Bye. Thanks for a gift sub to Your Honor, I'm ballin'. Thanks, man. I assume this is the punishment we are to decide is just or not. Just? Just? How could this be just? To be forever called a thief by everyone? Even I can't say my own name anymore. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it seems right to me. After all, everyone is just speaking the truth, are they not? The defense demands the prosecution abstain from claiming unproven statements. I firmly believe my client is innocent, of course. Oh. Well, about that. I might have actually done it. Oh. Yes, Her Greatness did specify that the defendant's guilt was non-negotiable. We are only here to determine whether the punishment he faced for it was reasonable. Now then, prosecution, please give your opening statement. What? I don't know anything about the case, old man. You only just called us in here, remember? You're the one with all the details, so go on, get to it. Well, I suppose Actually, why don't we just let the victim describe what happened? He should have the most accurate knowledge of the event. This must be some kind of nightmare. Every good lawyer knows you should never defend yourself. Does this count? All right, who are you then? Ah, yeah, myself. I own the tool shop back on Koholint, I do. The greatest shop in town it is, I tells ya. It's the only shop in town. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Not so close. No touching. You don't know what could happen. The world could implode. I don't think the goddess would allow this whole thing if that were a real possibility. So what if it's the only shop? There's no better in this world or the next. Never seen anyone complaining. Yes, whatever. Now tell us what happened. How did you let yourself get swindled so easily? I'll say it all. Just you watch me. Witness testimony. The Great Heist. Okay, hold on. I gotta check my inputs again. I don't know what my R button is. My R button is E. My L button is Q. My Z is space. My C up is T. Okay. I just have my attorney's badge. 'Twas just a normal day. I was tending to me cash register. Then suddenly this kid bursts in. A green blur, I tells ya. He grabs the nearest thing and runs behind meself. So I turn around. But he ain't there anymore. So I turn back to the entrance. Ay caramba, he's gone. Nowhere to be seen, I tells ya. I can't afford me wares going for free, you know? They're already cheap as possible. Why, I oughta... Well, I suppose he did already pay the ultimate price. Why? What a descriptive testimony. I feel as if I was there. Hold on there. Just one thing I'm confused about. Who was it that set this curse or whatever it is on my client? 'Twas me, of course. What kind of shopkeep would I be without summit magic? I know how it looks, but the guy can literally shoot deadly energy beams. I would not underestimate him. Right. Of course. Without further ado, please proceed with the cross-examination. Wait, do I have to? This is a losing battle. Normal day. Yep, normal day. Do you get many customers at your store on regular days like this, witness? Nah, can't say I do. It's a small town, you know? Besides, I think lately the people have been spending their money at that blasted trendy game. Oh, that four-eyed scoundrel running such an eyesore. Trendy game? I do not have emulator settings listed anywhere. I'm using Project 64 EM 1.0.3, and I just followed the instructions in the README for this ROM hack. It's a crane game in town. It costs 10 rupees per game. It's pretty easy to win. There's something wrong if people prefer to literally gamble on a crane game than buy from this guy. Please continue, witness. Suddenly, this kid bursts in. A green blur, I tell ya. A blur. Are you sure this was definitely my client? I swear on me mum. Couldn't be anyone else. It's a small town, you know. I know everyone there. No one else wears weird green dresses. Hey, this is my finest tunic. I fail to see how this matters in any case. Have you forgotten that your doppelganger's guilt has already been established, defense? Forgotten? No, but I wish I could. He grabs the nearest thing and runs behind me, Sal. What is it that was stolen anyway? Why's that matter? He stole something, and that's that. No need to be getting into the nitty-gritty. As it happens, defense, the goddess herself forbade us from talking about this. She called it a technical limitation, whatever that means. That's the most important question here, though. If it was something cheap, surely we can agree this punishment is too severe. It is what it is. I must ask you to drop this line of questioning. This is ridiculous. Oh, I don't look so glum, chum. Here you go. This is a flyer with all my wares. That should have given you an idea what it might have been. Well, it's something at least. The court accepts this flyer into evidence. Now then, witness, please continue. So I turn around. All right, let's look at the flyer. Bow, shovel, shield, arrows, bomb, and heart. Thieves are not welcome, it says at the bottom. Patrons can just freely go behind the counter like that? Nah, of course not. I don't have a counter. What? Customers have to hold their items while I ring them up. But wouldn't the register have to be on a counter or something? Well, yeah, I suppose, but if it's only big enough for me register, not for any products too. It's what I mean. I see. You got a problem? Who are you to criticize me interior decor? Best to have as little extra fluff as possible. Keeps the customer's eyes on the wares, you see? Well, I can't deny there is some logic to that. But he ain't there anymore. Actually, that reminds me. I noticed that the wall behind me was starting to get moldy. The stray thought distracted me for just a split second, you see? Is this all a joke? Some kind of skit? So I turned back to the entrance. Let me guess. He wasn't there. As I live, the slimy rope. Ay, caramba, he's gone. Nowhere to be seen, I tells ya. Your establishment doesn't exactly have the tightest security, does it? Bah! Never needed any. Everyone in town trusts everyone else. Everyone was shocked when I tell them, I say. Shocked! I can't afford me wares going for free, you know? They're already cheap as possible. Why, I oughta. I do have to ask, why did you need to steal from this store exactly? Well, you see, I really needed one of the things in there. Yeah, that's what paying is for. I was shipwrecked. I wasn't exactly swimming in rupees. Defense, do you have an actual question for the witness? Then let us move on. Continue, shopkeeper. Well, I suppose he did already pay the ultimate price. What does that mean? Oh, that's right. This guy literally killed me when I went back into the store. What? You know, if you're going to make up a lie, at least make it believable. It's not a lie. It's true. How are you here then? I don't know. It got undone somehow. One moment I'm getting fried and then poof. I'm back at the doorstep and that guy is just smiling at me creepily. Surely death is enough of a punishment for theft. This all sounds very hard to believe, defendant. Well, what did the witness mean by the ultimate price then? Oh, why, I just mean the curse I said on him, didn't I? Yeah, that was it. Perfectly sensible. Okay, I'm starting to get goosebumps. But surely that is all there is to it. Well, that's quite the testimony, if you say so. You're the lawyer here, whatever that means. Wait, are you saying there are no lawyers in your world at all? I don't think there are. How weird. I can't imagine how that would even work. Anyway, best to stay on track. I don't have much to work with here, so I should keep pressing for more details.
What the fuck am I supposed to do?
They're already cheap as possible, I guess. I guess 900 for a bow isn't cheap. Cheap, you say? That's not quite true now, is it? Whatever do you mean, defense? Your Honor, if you look at the flyer the witnesses so graciously provided us with, do any of the items there seem like a bargain to you? Well, let's see. Goodness gracious! 980 rupees for a simple bow? That's more than I get paid in. Now wait just a bloomin' second. All the villagers be happy with me shop. No one's ever complained, you know. Is that so, witness? Tell me, how many customers do you get each day? That's not important. It's all because of the blasted trendy game. Not me fault folks prefer to play with that stupid crane. I will agree that the prices are a bit inflated. So what? What do you mean, so what? My other self needed to survive somehow and the prices were entirely unreasonable. I was shipwrecked. It would have taken me months to get that kind of money. Yes. Given a survival scenario, I suppose this explains the defendant's motive at the very least. Indeed, he didn't just steal out of malice or with profit in mind. It was a life or death situation. Life or death, you say? Tell me, which one of these items listed in the flyer is necessary for survival precisely? Well, for instance... Exactly. Maybe the recovery hearts? 10 rupees is way too much for those. Oh, I agree. That's a terrible deal, given that you can get them just by cutting some grass. Yeah. Oh. Yes, everything this store carried that one might need for survival could have easily been obtained elsewhere. The defendant had no pressing need to steal. The prosecution makes a valid point. There's no food or water listed among the wares after all. I wasn't just trying to survive, I was trying to leave the island. Leave the island? Bah. And how would you do that using this set of items, pray tell? Were you planning to paddle off the island with a shovel? No, not directly like that. The island can't be escaped by normal means. I needed them to wake the windfish. What the heck is a windfish? I don't know. Right. So you knew it needed to be awakened because an owl told me. Are you trying not to make sense at this point? Oh my god, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Perhaps I can shed some light on this particular matter. Oh my god, by Jove. Is that a talking owl? Whew. It felt like I was needed, and so I came. Hoot, hoot, hoot. You would be wise not to scoff at what your counterpart is telling you. So you mean... Hoot. Yes, of course. Everything the brave young lad has said is true. He is on a special quest, and Koholint is no regular island at all. If you'll allow me, I can explain everything. Okay, sure, yeah, thank goodness. What utter nonsense! I object to the presence of this animal in my courtroom. No way I am going to listen to a testimony from an owl. Oh, so you've accepted everything else happening here, but not this. The defense demands the right to cross-examine the bird. Out of all the boneheaded, stupid... Order. Allow me to share my opinion on this matter. Given the situation at hand, I see nothing wrong with allowing a bird to testify, unusual as it may be. Is it weird that this is not the first time we've played lawyer games that have us cross-examining birds? Mr. Owl, please tell us all we need to know about the nature of Koholint Island. And nothing in the rulebook says an owl can't testify in court. Hoot! Koholint's very existence, its very essence, is tied to the windfish's slumber. As long as the windfish sleeps, the island cannot be escaped, like a terrible nightmare. The young sword-bearer must thus search for the 8 instruments of the sirens and play the ballad that will wake the Great One. Whew! With the instruments all united, the windfish's slumber shall come to an end, and so shall Koholint. That didn't explain anything either. Ha! Just like I said, listening to this bird was a waste of time. Ooh. Perhaps that was not as clear as I'd hoped. Do forgive me. Over-mystifying is a bit of an occupational hazard for our kind. What occupation? Professional owl? Please, if you have questions, I will happily answer. Hoot, hoo. Well, the witness seems to be all but begging to be cross-examined. Defense, please go right ahead. Well, let's start with the Dodongo in the room. What the heck is a windfish? Dodongo? No, young counselor, you must be confused. The windfish, the Leviathan, is a huge whale. As far as Koholint is concerned, it has always been, and as long as Koholint is, it will always be. Right, a deity whale. I'd bring up the fact that whales are not fish, but at this point, I don't think it really matters. Dialogue does change depending on your tunic color and whether or not the shopkeeper kills you. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. As long as the windfish sleeps, the island cannot be escaped, like a terrible nightmare. What would happen if you did try? Why couldn't you just build a raft and try to sail away? Hoot. Truthfully, I do not know. Perhaps, no matter how long you sailed, the island would just never fade from view. The sea would never end like an infinite staircase until you've turned around and found yourself back where you started in no time. Or perhaps you would just die. Yikes! That's a possibility. I admit I thought about trying that a few times. Whew. There's but one way to escape. The young sword-bearer must, thus, search for the 8 instruments of the sirens and play the ballad that will wake the Great One. Well, how does one obtain these elusive instruments exactly? Hoot! That is no simple task, to be sure. The instruments of the siren sleep deep within temples scattered across the lands, fraught with monsters, traps, and other dangers. At the end of each, a formidable foul foe guarding a peace. Yes. To obtain all the instruments of yore is to slay all those who corrupt the island from within. Slaying foes? This sounds like some kind of mass murder spree. It appears... Yes, it appears that our worlds may differ from each other more significantly than I thought. I cannot feel him here. How strange. What in Din's name are you blabbering about now, you feathered menace? Hoot. In our land, since the very beginning of time, an evil influence has permeated all. The king of evil, the demon lord Ganon. From the very dirt of the earth to even the first thoughts of an infant, if you dig deep enough, if you look closely enough, you will find his malice and hatred. The king of evil, Ganon? So he noticed too. Could it just be a coincidence? Naturally, when I speak of vanquishing foes, I speak of his creations. Deeply rooted in the most primordial evil, these foul beasts' only goals are for their own survival and for the misery of others. No being that has been touched by Hylia's grace would object to their destruction. It is as innate to our nature as breathing. And yet, here is a world without him. Is your world lucky to have been spared, or has ours been particularly unlucky? That I do not know. Perhaps this is even the very reason her grace has chosen this world to send us. Do you have any idea what this is about? I think I do, actually. Really? I don't think it really matters for what we're talking about, though. Right. Could we get back to the matter at hand, then? Why, of course. I was just musing aloud. Right, and I don't suppose making noise any other way would suffice. You know, just screaming into its ear or something. Of course not, my dear counselor. The windfish's sleep is not natural, a magical slumber that can only be broken via magical means. Right. What do you mean by the last part? Will something happen to Koholint when the windfish wakens? Koholint Island is a magical place born of the windfish's slumber. Once the Leviathan awakens, the magic keeping Koholint in place will dissipate. You mean... Of course. When the windfish wakes, Koholint will disappear, and Naria's sight shall remain. What? Did you know about this? Well, truth be told, I suspected. Ah, clever lad. Yes, surely you have noticed. The only shop in town selling nothing but tools and equipment, shopkeeper with magical powers, villages of talking animals. Koholint as a whole is unnatural. It is a place made of dreams and nightmares. Villages of talking animals? I must have missed that part. What about the inhabitants then? Where will they go when the island disappears? Where indeed? After all we've heard here, I think one thing has been made clear. My client has truly found himself in a life or death situation. This testimony fully corroborates that. On top of that, to escape the island, he had to go on a life-threatening quest. In order to survive this ordeal, he needed to be well equipped as possible. And the only way to get the needed equipment was from the store, which was charging exorbitant prices. These are all clear mitigating factors. And with that in mind, the defense asserts his punishment is far too severe. Indeed. This does paint the defendant in a more positive light. It appears the theft might have been necessary given his situation. Yes, that was easier than I thought, and it's still early enough to go back to sleep. That owl used to annoy me a little, but it really came to my rescue this time, hasn't it? Whew. I am only here to help, lad. I feel there is no need to further prolong this trial. While the court does not condone the defendant's act in and of itself, I do now believe that he has been punished too harshly for it. And so this court finds the defendant... Old man, surely you don't mean to tell me you've woken me in the dead of night just to make a farce out of this trial? Farce? But Mr. Dragmire, the defense has just presented a rather compelling argument. Compelling? Don't make me laugh. Yes, he had a reason to do what he did. All criminals have reasons. That's no justification. It wasn't just any reason. Survival was at stake here. Was it, though? You, bird brain. Ho-ho? Yes, what is it? You said the defendant was to visit a bunch of dusty old temples in search of the instruments. Tell me, were those instruments the only things in there? Who? No, I suppose they were not. With structures as old as those, you're bound to find things left by previous inhabitants. Wow. Why? Thanks so much for 53 months. Thank you very much, Kronos and Jill, for the 53. Thank you very much. I'm sure there would be a lot of treasure left in there, too. Oh, no. Treasure. Money. All of that was within the brat's grasp. He could have easily gotten the funds to properly purchase the items he stole with only a little legwork. Wait a moment. It wouldn't be that easy. Those places were full of monsters and traps. Without any equipment, it would be too dangerous to go alone. Oh, how quickly you've forgotten, defense. Try to recall the flying menace's words from just a few moments ago. The young sword bearer must thus yada yada yada. Sword bearer. Oh. Our little kleptomaniac had a perfectly good sword with him. He wasn't barehanded at all. No! All he was looking for was some kind of easy shortcut out of his predicament. Or maybe the little snake just wanted to keep all the treasure for himself. How dare you? I'm not some greedy treasure hoarder. Either way, the defendant might have had a reason for his theft. But I'd say that reason was likely nothing but selfishness. He wanted to keep the treasure? Now, barrister, that's not even remotely possible. All of the treasure, as part of Koholint, would naturally disappear with it. But that doesn't mean anything. The tort might not have known that. Oh, come on. Just admit you're wrong. Now this is quite the pickle indeed. The prosecution has brought up some good points, but so has the defense. Furthermore, we seem to be out of testimony to discuss at this point. This will be a hard decision to make. Actually, that reminds me. There was something you kept bringing up in your testimony, Mr. Witness. Yes, what is it? You often mention that Koholint is like a dream or a nightmare. How literal is that? What are you going on about now? Of course it's not actually. Oh no, it very much is. What? I thought that point was clear. My apologies. Koholint only exists within a dream. We are in a dream right now too, in fact. Oh my, this whole trial isn't real? I should have known. This whole thing was just way too fantastical. Well then, now that we've made that clear, I'm just gonna go and wake up if you don't mind. Why, that might be the wisest thing you've proposed so far, defense. But of course, it's not going to be you waking up. I'm the only real person here. I haven't the slightest idea how my mind conjured up this nonsense. Shouldn't have had that noble pursuit before bed. Ho, I suppose it wouldn't be the first time I've dreamt of the courtroom. It's never been quite this vivid, but I guess this old man still has quite the active imagination. Meanwhile, my imagination's being a bit overactive right now, I guess, and I haven't even had any noble pursuits. Please, wait. Huh? You can't just wake up. What about me? What about you? You're clearly just an invention of my mind, brat. But hey, you want a resolution? No problem. Judge, declare a guilty verdict right now. Prosecutor Dragmire, I refuse to hand down a faulty verdict, even in my dreams. No, this won't do. I'll just have to wake up now. Here it goes. Here it goes. Strange. I don't seem to be able to. Whew. If I may interject, I have said that this is a dream, yes. But why would that mean that nothing here is real? Oh, be quiet, you pile of feathers. I banish you from my dream. Be gone. What is this? Am I stuck in this nightmare? Well, naturally, only one person here can actually control the dream. Everyone else is just along for the ride, so to speak. Are you saying everyone here is actually real or just sharing the same dream? Why, of course. Her Grace chose one person to be the host and then thrust the others into it. Preposterous. If this is all in the Green Brat's dream, why doesn't he just remove his curse on his own? Preposterous? Not at all, my angry Gerudo friend. I've never said he's the one in charge. He came from the dream world of Koholint, after all. Well, how did he wind up in someone else's dream then, you blasted buzzard? Having battled with Ganon before, he is of particular interest to the Demon Lord. The evil one saw an opportunity and forcefully shoved him into the dream of the Windfish, a dreamscape he has been steadily preventing with his evil for many years. Oh, perverting with his evil. He infested it with his own creations, twisted it into a dangerous place, and imprisoned its creator within. As a result, that is also why our green-clad friend cannot wake up normally. But this world is free of Ganon. Whoever the host of this dream is could indeed just wake up. Although I cannot imagine the goddess Hylia would be very thrilled with that conclusion, having made all the effort to bring her chosen hero here. How did you know all of this? Whew. Why, isn't it obvious? I myself am part of the Windfish's spirit. I could not just stand idly by when Hylia's own champion was dealt such a bad hand, and so I've tried to lead you to the 8 instruments, and I reached out to Hylia for help with this predicament. This is crazy. Well, who is it then? Who is the one controlling this dream? That I do not know. That is something you'll have to find out for yourself. Whoever it is will have the final word in this trial. So that's it then. It all hinges on this point. Who is this dream's Windfish? I must consider all the facts. Oh my god. Could it be one of these people? No, neither of them, because they both tried to wake up. Both Dragmire and the Drudge have already conclusively proven that they are not the host of this dream. Who does that leave? Maybe one of them? The owl, the shopkeeper? Not them either? It can't be either the owl or the shopkeeper. They'd each have ended the trial in their favor by now if they were in control. And I already know that the thief isn't the one in control. So who does that leave? It's me. I am this dream's windfish. What a sentence. That's it. There's no doubt about it. Well, what are you looking so smug about? Isn't it obvious? I've just realized who must be the one controlling this dream. No, it can't be. I see you've realized it now, too. Oh my. You mean you're the one? Well, let's give it a try, shall we? What are you... Hello, everyone. Aw, yeah. Now this dream's getting good. Marin? Defense. What did you do to Prosecutor Dragmire? Nothing bad, of course. I just ejected him out of here. He's probably waking rather abruptly right now. I decided it'd be nicer to have someone more pleasant to deal with on the opposing side. The prosecution has nothing more to add. The defendant's totally innocent. I won't stand for this. You can't just give yourself an easier opponent. That's a shame. Wait, who will give the verdict now? I know of one good candidate. Huh? Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial. Will the defendant please step up to the stand? This is absolute kangaroo court. Is this really okay? I thought the goddess wanted a fair trial. Actually, she requested no such thing. What? The way the judge put it, the only stipulation was that someone else decide your fate. At no point did she specify how the decision should be made or how many people should be making it. That still feels like cheating. Well, there's one easy way to find out if it's allowed or not. This court finds the defendant. Wait, I'm not having this. My product was still stolen, you know? What kind of justice is... Don't interrupt me. Now then, once again, this court finds the defendant not guilty. Remove the thief moniker from the save file in slot one. That's so funny. Oh my God. So if I were to do this with a real Game Boy cartridge, it would actually have removed it from the cartridge itself. That is so cool. Oh my God. That's so funny. It actually edits the save to remove it. That's incredible. So let's see. Your name is Law. It is. It is. Oh my God. Interesting. Well, it was a pleasure to meet you, Law. In any case, I believe you should be getting back to your own world now. And no more stealing, you hear? Of course not. Never again. Glad to hear that. Best of luck on your quest. And with that, court is adjourned. What a fantastic idea. June 6th, 4:22 a.m., Link Legal Agency in Kakariko Village. What? Where? The office? That's right. I stayed to catch up on work. I guess I must have fallen asleep reading case files. Man, what a crazy dream, though. What was it about again? I was in court, And then... Oh, darn. It's gone already. Can't remember a single thing. Oh, well. The end. Absolutely incredible. 100% worth the time to set that up. Yeah, 1,000,000,000%. 1,000,000,000% worth the time. And we're definitely okay. So the downside of this next part, guys, is that I have my shameful admittance. This isn't private knowledge, but I guess it's going to come out right now. I've actually never completed the Oracle of Ages or Oracle of Seasons. So I genuinely will not get the references in these ones. But I'm still going to do it. Do I need Jimbo, do I need save files for those games, or can I just throw them in? They're just used for unlocking? Okay, cool. Oracle of Ages. And save. Yeah, inputs. Hold on, let me make sure. Okay, use. And let's do a hard reset. N64. Hero of Law. You want to try out the unlock codes? You think that'd be... Whatever you think is the best way to go about it, honestly. Whatever you think is the best way to go about it, I'll take your lead on it. I think I need to have something to put into the GB-ROM save directory because it's crashing. And the README are the instructions for the code. Okay, I think I might have closed the page with it. Which is written as a riddle. A riddle? Okay, that's even better. That's even better. Garlic bread. Oh, the page. Oh, okay, here it is. The transfer pack enhances the experience in the main bit of bonus content due to its direct interaction with Game Boy save data. If you want to skip that requirement, you can use this secret unlock code. On the title screen, press R, choose check brightness using the C and button and A button. Play the Ocarina of Time song most likely to cause the events from the opening of Link's Awakening. You will hear a jingle confirming that the code has been input successfully. All right, so let's... Okay, so check brightness. What? I wonder what it is. Is it maybe the Song of Time? Is it Zelda's Lullaby? Probably Zelda's Lullaby, right? I gotta double check my controls. Input settings, C buttons, F, H, G. Okay, yeah, that's right. And A is X. Okay. Do I remember the opening to Link's Awakening? Oh, I guess it's storming. A down up, A down up. Yeah, yeah. And that just unlocks everything. I see. Okay, so Meanwhile Somewhere Else and Ingo's Casino. All right, we gotta go. We gotta check out the other two bonus cases. I don't know why it's not showing up on the screen again, though. Okay, there we go. Why was that being so weird for me? All right. Let's check out the other extras. Extra 1, Meanwhile Somewhere Else. And Extra 2 is a minigame. Wait a sec. Is this... Oh, is Extra 2 the one that you get from both Oracle of Ages and Seasons? Is that what's going on? One is just the... I see. I was misunderstanding then. Now I'm in here, though, so I'm going to finish this. Wow, I really needed one of those. Thanks. In return, I'll tell you about a secret I've heard. Supposedly, there's a game with a giant egg which you can become a criminal, and a pair of games with climate change and time travel. They say that extras can be unlocked by connecting them on the title screen using a certain accessory. Now, I don't know what that means, but I'm sure you can figure it out. See ya. Okay, bye. What? Oh, those are what I got rid of. Oh. Oh my God. It's Luigi's Casino? You know what? I can change the music. Oh my God, dude. So good. So good. God damn it. Nice, I got a 3 of a kind. Oh shit, he's putting a lot of money down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Making up money. You win something at 50. All right, sweet. We got to grind. Yeah, let's see. Pause for the rules. About the song. Oh, cool. We got details about this song as a joke. It occurred to me one day that it'd be funny to make a cover of the Grasslands theme from Super Mario Bros. Wonder with these instruments, specifically with the ocarina as the whistle and Malin's voice as the vocals. I made it in a day or two without telling anyone, and then replaced our game's title theme with it as a little prank. I planned to switch it back and remove it after the others had heard it, but to my surprise, Sakawa wanted to keep it and invent an Easter egg to reuse it. And later that day, Hero of Law's first extra scene Super Talon game was born. That's why this is just a cover and not a full rearrangement like the rest of the music in this game. It wasn't originally intended to be in the game at all. Dude, we got lore about the music in it too. That's so cool. Okay. You pick how much to bet by clicking the ruby and which cards to replace. Ingo will place his bet. Winner gets all times 2. End credits. This is the second to last song I wrote for the game. Ingo the Defeated was the last. It had to be near the end. I wanted to rearrange many other songs from across the soundtrack, so those had to be written first. At over 3.5 minutes long, over 150 tracks in my project file, and 26 instruments used, it is far and away the largest song in the game. In fact, it's so large that it doesn't even fit in the amount of RAM that Ocarina of Time allocates for sequence data. We had to increase the allocation space. Fun fact, Ocarina of Time's credits theme actually doesn't fit either. They solved it by splitting it into multiple parts, but we preferred not to do that. Anyway, there are a few interesting facts about the song from a composition standpoint. For example, while cross-examination Allegro is normally faster than Moderato and Confrontation, Presto is faster still. They're played back to back to back in the credits medley, so they all needed to be at the same tempo. But Confrontation in particular felt too slow that way at first. I had to change its rhythm quite a bit to keep a similar amount of energy with the slower tempo. What I'd rather talk about more is how the credits music solves a problem that Ocarina of Time's credits have. Other than being started at the same time, the visuals and music for OOT's credits aren't synchronized at all. On top of that, when played on a real N64 hardware, the visuals lag heavily due to so many characters. The developers obviously knew this at the time, so the timings were set up to work out correctly with the expected amount of lag, but emulating lag accuracy is too slow to do even on modern hardware, so no current emulators do. As a result, when emulating OOT, the end of the music often gets cut off. Nintendo's official emulator have either modified the game to retime the credits or entirely replaced the credit scene with the video, but none of that would have been necessary had the game synchronized its credits and visuals itself. So that's what Heroes of Law does. I marked about 50 points in the song for it to update the sequence input-output variable, which the game can read. It waits for the variable to reach a certain value before each text or scenery change. That way the visuals will always stay exactly in sync with the music on all current and future N64-like platforms. The lore, dude! The lore! Oh my god. Yeah, Tingle is the highest card, which is wonderful. Shit, I wish I would have put more money in.
Objection Moisto.
2 pairs. I'll take it. But... Wait. Oh, but he had a high Ganondorf. Oh. I don't like these hands I'm getting dealt. Was that not a straight? Oh, I wasn't even thinking, honestly. I'm taking a big risk here. Come on, give me another Ganondorf. Ah! I don't like this. I don't like this. Ah! My money. My 2 pairs are stronger than your 2 pairs. Two Zeldas. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go. Oh, I wish you would have put more money in. Ah, that's okay. We still got a bit. Da, 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 da. This music is so good, dude. 3 of a kind? That's pretty good. Nice, another 3 of a kind. Come on, let me win this. Oh yeah, links are better than hearts. Oh yeah. I'm gonna put one more in here. Damn, I'm losing this for sure. Oh no, I won. I didn't realize I had 2 tingles. Yippee! All right. All right. You're good. I'll tell you another secret then. You know that prosecutor Dragmire? When he's on screen, press the D-pad. Up, up, down, down, left, right, B, and something should happen. Up, up, down, down, left, right, B. Oh my God, the secrets are amazing. Okay, what are my buttons for the D-pad? Hold on, I gotta check. Input config, D-pad is... Oh, it's the buttons I'm using right now. Up, up, down, down, left, right, and B is C. All right, I just gotta get to a scene where he's on screen. Trial begins. We'll have him on screen somewhere relatively early. Up, up, down, down, left, right. Okay, hold on. Court is now in session. Up, up, down, down, left, right, B. Oh my God, they put the moon on his head. Oh my God. Oh my God, I love it so much. Oh my God. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh man, that's so funny. Oh my God. Dude, there needs to be like a ROM Hack of the Year award so we can give it to you guys. Your team deserves so much praise and love and applause for this thing, man. This shit's so good. This is insane. I can't believe how good this is. And I can download the soundtrack right off the website. You're kidding. Oh my God, I'm downloading it literally right now. The secret, take it from a 10 out of 10 to an 11. Yeah, I actually got a... DGR asked me how the hack was. I gotta tell him it was absolute, like... I like that you guys put in a on the release website too, a spoiler-free walkthrough. So for someone who does like, yeah, you've got a whole bunch of like stuff here for people who would love a little hint along the way. If you present something wrong to the moon, you get a new line. See more videos on our YouTube channel. Subscribed. Oh shit. Dude, oh my god, I didn't realize when it was newer team, it was the people who made newer Super Mario Bros. Wii. Oh, I didn't realize it was the same crew. Wow. You guys are so cool. That's so cool. Does BAZR also get a nomination for ROM Hack of the Year and Nostalgia 64? It's a good year for ROM hacks, man. It really is. It really is. Present something wrong with the moon, you get a new line. Let's see. I'm gonna fast forward. I'm gonna fast forward to something. I'm sorry, I realize it now. You guys can't see what's happening. Ganondorf's face at every scene is just so comical. All right, we're almost at the cross-examine. Here we go. Almost there. Okay. This evidence reveals a massive contradiction. Is that not just your attorney's badge? Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA. The contradiction of how someone like you passed the bar exam. Okay, hold on, let's... Now that he's Moon, let's do it again. I am the Moon and I judge this evidence unworthy. Consult. Oh, I didn't even run into this because I played too good. Do you see anything wrong with the testimony? Me? Any other worthwhile Easter eggs worth checking out? Impa is Gumshoe, basically, yeah. Are they still on? Oh my god. I forgot that was on. All right, I think we've found all of the various little Easter eggs and treats that were available in there. GG's, thanks, man. Jimbo, that was so cool, dude. Big props to you and the team that worked on it, dude. That was so cool. That's so cool. Hero of Law, guys. If you want to check it out or show anyone else about it, I am so impressed. I am so impressed. We still got a little bit of time to hang out. I don't got to rush out of here just quite yet. I'm gonna free roam in Mario Kart a little bit. I don't really have anything else to fill like such a small amount of time with. We don't have that much time left today because I'm going out for not out, but going to Haley's family for dinner tonight. Can we get a preview of the OOT stuff that I added? Sure, I can give you a little look at what I did to the randomizer. I just found a song pack. I can show you. I can play some of the music for you real quick. Where is it? OOT PC port. Ship. Enhancements, audio editor. Yeah, you can already hear that it's... If you want to see just how much custom music is in the pack I downloaded, it's kind of insane. It's kind of insane. I honestly removed a ton of it too. Music that I either just thought was too much or didn't recognize or just didn't like. I removed some of it as well. And I locked it so that this screen always plays the Wii Shop music. I have more music to add now. I don't think you can't just add MP3s, unfortunately. So I can't add the music. So they have to get like swapped and ported. They probably would work because they're in the OOT sound font. That's past my pay grade though. La 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 la. Yeah, that's a job for Well, maybe I can figure out how. Maybe I can look into it. Maybe I can look into it.